Mastercraft on the beat.
Yeah, with the bomb better. Mastercraft on it, flavor.
Finally, oh, it's about to go down.
You just say money no be problem.
Finally, oh, it's about to go down. Where my baby, oh, it's about to go down. I'm a sexy lady, it's about to go down. Oh, yeah, just okay. Walubenu, maya, 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 maya. Oh, yeah, just okay. Walubenu, maya, maya. Oh, yeah, just okay. Walubenu, maya, 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 maya. Oh, yeah, just okay. Walubenu, yeah.
I used to mesmerize. Say me that my baby mama go make it to the end. And I thought I was in love until I met my wife. It be like she do me voodoo, she tell me to bulu bulu. Go be a me ya bang you my sister five. Me the office PC in checking the Twitter and in the Facebook. Looking for new pics to like, I no go like. About the body ni big you mukasa when side she be princess. There she goes. You know my baby got swag. Best nigga tell them my pictures to rose. Miss Universe a grand fan of home my check bag. Chemin ya wope. Check your prices. Cabin I will make you connect on your licenses. No more person me jaw until almost say a real one. Home my ace and the hepatitis still.
Finally, oh, it's about to go down. Finally, oh, it's about to go down.
Mastercraft on the beat.
Where my baby, oh, it's about to go down. I'm a sexy lady, it's about to go down. Oh, yeah, just okay. Walubenu, maya, 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 maya. Oh, yeah, just okay. Walubenu, maya, maya. Oh, yeah, just okay. Walubenu, maya, maya, maya. Oh, yeah, just okay. Walubenu, yeah. Let's go, D-Tingo. Who be the baby where they dance for floor, where they fire. She a one of a kind, she dey bust my brain, she a bada, now my name she dey hala. We are shut it down to the early morning with the higher. And I saw the tingo on my ringo, that's what the tingo. I like the way you dey put it on me on my ringo, that's what the tingo. I like the way you dey put it on me, yeah. But you know be big so efweji, yeah. The early morning, but you know be big so. Finally, oh, it's about to go down.
You just say money no be problem.
Finally, oh, it's about to go down. Where my baby, oh, it's about to go down. I'm a sexy.
Okay, hi everybody. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. So I'm trying to figure out how to unhide the like count. So give me 1 minute to try to figure that out. And if I'm not able to do it, I'll do it for the next live. But who's here? Who's here? What are you guys up to? How you guys doing? Yeah, today I wanted to do a stream, right? I wanted to do a rant. Hopefully nobody's gonna disturb me. I wanted to do a rant on the colonial wigs. I already spoke about this before, but I want to do a part 2 because I want to speak about it again because it's still really annoying. So I'm just trying to figure out how to unhide the subscribe. No, not the subscribe, the dislike thing. Hold on. Is there anybody here who actually knows how to do it? Like, is Mr. Uganda and any of them here? And they know how to do it? African superstars, any of them here? Let me see. Okay, I guess I'll do this later because I have no idea. Okay, I'll do it later. I'll figure it out later. I'll figure it out later. But anyways, yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. So I wanted to start off the stream first by being a bit tribal. I'm not really tribal, but today I'm gonna be tribal. Shout outs to GH. Shout outs to Ghana for making it into FIFA. And also shout outs to Senegal. Senegal and Ghana have moved through to FIFA, to the World Cup. And why am I bragging about this, right? Why am I bragging about this? Because I remember a couple of months ago when Ghana got kicked out of AFCON, you had some Nigerians, specifically Nigerians, come in here say, "Oh, you Ghanaians, you don't know how to play football. Oh, you Ghanaians, you lost. Oh, you Ghanaians, you losers." So who be the loser now? Who be the loser now? Y'all lost in Abuja. You lost in your own country. You lost in your own country. Nigeria's Super Eagles. What happened? What happened? And to be honest, hey, this is me gonna be super tribal today. I already told you guys. Ghana always does better than Nigeria in the World Cup anyway. So I don't even understand why people are here talking. Why are you here talking? Shout outs to Ghana and shout outs to Senegal. And I think Tunisia, no, who was it? I Morocco and somebody is playing today. I forgot somebody else, but shout outs to whoever is gonna do it. The North Africans, they always make it, so we already know they're gonna. We already know they're gonna make it, but sucks to be a Niger. Sucks to be a Niger today. Oh, I want your guys' input on this. I want your guys' input on this. Has anyone here by any chance also tried Nigerian and Ghanaian jollof? Because put a one in the chat if you think Nigerian jollof is better. Put a two in the chat if you think Ghanaian jollof is better. Like, we just have to settle this for once and for all. Now, Nigerians, I'm gonna play. Do you know how petty Ghanaians can be? There's a song I was putting it in my group chat. There's a song that Ghanaians made, and the title is called "Thank God We're Not in Nigeria." Let me, let me share my screen so you guys can see. There's a song that Ghanaians made, and it's called "Thank God We're Not Nigerians." It's a joke, guys. It's actually a joke, right? But it's just so funny. The Nigerians were so upset. They were like, "Why are you Ghanaians doing this? Why are you Ghanaians doing that?" But this is the thing, right? See, this is why I don't mind making fun of Nigerians, because this is the thing, right? You cannot call yourself the giants of Africa. You cannot call yourselves the big brothers of Africa. And then when people insult you small, small, then you want to sit there and cry? How does that make sense? No, you can't be doing that. You can't be calling yourself big brother with the richest, with this, with everything. And then when people make small, small, small jokes, then all of a sudden, oh, you guys are so mean. How can you be Niger you crying? You cannot be a Niger, a king, giant of Africa, big brother in Africa, and then when somebody makes a joke, you're sitting there crying like a baby. No, 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 no. You cannot have it all. You cannot have it all. You can't. So here it is. I'm I'm being super petty today. And Nigerians, what you guys do good is I give you your props. So don't even sit there and act like I don't give you props when you do the thing. I give you props when you do your thing. But I also want to make fun of you just like everybody else. So this is the song. It's called Thank God We're Not a Nigerian. Yo, who else can make a song like this? Who else is going to make a song called Thank God We're Not a Nigerians? Yeah. We're gonna play, I'm gonna play a little bit of it.
I'm feeling fine, my man. I'm feeling fine, my man. I'm feeling fine, my man.
Are really simple. Oh yeah, man. Whilst we have 4 colors in our flag, they only have 2.
Thank God we are not a Nigerians. 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 Thank God we are not a Nigerians.
Kofi is a common name, that's what even I say, but a Ghanama will never call a child Friday.
Thank God we are not a Nigerians. Thank God we are not a Nigerians.
Oh, always shouting very loud, don't know how to whisper. And why say Mr. instead of Mr.?
Thank God we are not a Nigerians. Thank God we are not a Nigerians.
You like school more than any African I've seen. Simple 13 and you still say 13.
Thank God we are not a Nigerians.
Okay. You all get it. Maybe some people didn't understand what was being said in the song. But the first line was, how come you guys only have 2 colors in your flag? Like, that's so boring. Who even thought about that? That's so not original. Like, 2 colors in your flag? Oh, come on. If we're doing flag contests, Nigeria versus Ghana, which flag is sexier? Like, which flag even has more personality, more charisma? It's the Ghanaian flag. So that was the first line of the song. That was the first line of the song. And then the second line of the song was like, oh, Nigerians are the smartest Africans. They go to school forever. But instead of saying 13, they say 13. Instead of saying doctor, they say doctor. We're like, so with all this English, all these master's degree, PhD, you still can't pronounce proper English words. Still, you can't do it. Anyway, that's it. That's enough pettiness versus the Niger versus Ghana. It's anybody who's saying you're being so mean, you're being so rude. Okay, let me tell you something. Make you listen. Come closer, make you listen. I go say I'm slow. Nigerians or Niger has, what do they have? They have Afrobeat, they get Nollywood, they get DND, they have so many things. So why are you being, see, this is the thing. If you're accomplishing so many things, then why are you also getting salty in small like riffraffs? How can you be so proud and so arrogant and then chillax, okay? Other people don't have Nollywood, other people don't have Afrobeat, other people don't have this and that. So let us have our fun too. Like, chill out. Stop being so butthurt, okay? Stop being so butthurt. Ghanaians are going to Qatar, okay? We're going to World Cup. We're going to play for Africa. And you will stay in Abuja. You'll be staying in Port Harcourt. You'll be staying in Calabar. You'll be staying in Lekki, eating your amala and moi moi. but we are gonna be eating Banku. We're gonna be eating Banku in Qatar 2022. Yes, that's what's happening. So to the Nigerians who are like, oh, you Ghanaians, you guys can't play football. Well, why are you not playing? Super Eagles, what happened? You're not flying. You're not soaring. We the Black Stars, we the stars. We are the stars. Just admit it. Just admit that we're the stars. Your Nigerians are so Chris, tell me how they're gonna come in there and they're gonna say that I'm so mean, I'm so rude. Meanwhile, they're the same ones that say, oh, Ghana doesn't have anything, Ghana is poor. But then when we make fun of them about these things, then they want to cry. No, you can't be the big brother of Africa and also be soft. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that one. But yeah, it's all love. Nigerians, it really is all love. It's like a brother and sister relationship. It's like if I can't make fun of Nigerians, who can I make fun of? You know what I mean? If I can't make fun of, who can I make fun of? So Nigerians, it is what it is. This Jollof war, it will never stop. This Jollof war is never going to stop. Anyway, shout outs to everybody who's here. Let me just say hi to all of you guys before I actually do get into the topic. Yeah, if you're Nigerian, I don't know what to say. Like, just chill. Just chill. Okay. You cannot be, see, this is the thing, right? Nigerians will go and tell every other country, oh, your country is so poor. We're the richest country. We're doing this, we're doing that. But then when you dish it back, then all of a sudden they want to say, oh, you guys all hate us. You guys all hate us. Why don't you guys like us? I'm like, am I the one who comes in here and says my country is the richest country in Africa every day? Am I the one who does that? Oh, please stop being babies. Yeah, Nigerians, you have to stop doing that. Yeah, Nigerians, you have to stop doing that. That's not fair. You cannot come in here and say, oh, but Lagos is the best city in Africa. What do you have? But then when we make fun of this, then you want to cry. No, 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 no. You can't have it all. You cannot have it all. Okay? We need balancing in life. Do you get me? We need balancizers. This one there, we need balance. So the same way that some of you guys are too arrogant is the same way that we have to make fun of you so that you can realize you're a human being. That's all. So you're welcome. Okay. I'm reminding you you're a human being. You are welcome. So AC Blocks, what's going on? Shout outs to you. I think I know who you are. I know you're using a burner account. I do it too. So that's how I know it's you. But I'm not going to say who it is because it's not necessary. Because, like I said, I also use burner accounts sometimes. So you have spoken to me, but you didn't know it was me either. Ahem. Oh, Chris. Oh, Chris. Oh, Chris. Oh, thank you. Chris. Oh, how you doing? Ghana no they carry last. Say it one more time. We know they listen. One good thing I can say about Ghanaians, right? And this, hey, let me just say it, okay? One good thing I can say about Ghanaians is Ghanaians are not arrogant. Ghanaians are actually very humble people. Ghanaians don't even talk. Ghanaians are so humble. So I'm just like, how are Ghanaians and Nigerians are the same people, but how is it that one got the super arrogance and the other one didn't? Like, what happened? What happened like 200 or 300 years ago when the Ghanaians and Nigerians divided? What happened? Like, did the ones that were arrogant, they just decided to stay in Nigeria, and the ones that were like quiet decided we need to go to Ghana? Like, what happened? What happened? I always wondered that. But anyways, yeah, Ghanaians and Nigerians, it's all good. It's big brother, little brother. Um, oh, Macrobia, how you doing? African Walker, it's been a long time. Hope you guys are doing well. Ghanaian carrot, no, 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 no. I'm not. Listen, in as much as I want to like brag, I can't say that. I can't say that. I want to, but unfortunately, it is Nigeria that carries West Africa. It is. It is. I'm not gonna admit that too many times, but it is, unfortunately, or fortunately. I don't know. So I only tried Nigeria. Why would you try West African food and the first one is Nigerian? Why would you do that? Fine. If you don't want to go to Ghana, it's cool. Why do you not try Senegalese? Senegalese, they have really good food. Gambians have really good food. Why would you go all the way to Niger? Liberian food is. Anyway, it's okay. It's okay. Let me just be quiet. Let me just be quiet. And to be honest, have I had Nigerian food? Only had two Nigerian dishes, and they were actually really good. But because I'm not Nigerian, I'm not gonna say that they were amazing. So anyway, Crystal, what's going on? The pettiness is strong as this one. Ghanaian couldn't beat the worst. Exactly. Okay. Anyway, hope you guys are all doing good. Tonight, tonight does not approve of this message. Hey, I did not make that song, but it is a good song though. It's a good song. They don't even say anything bad in the song. The title just says, "Thank God we're not Nigerian." Okay, I need to really be serious now. 100% true. Hi, African Millennial. I'd like to unconditionally apologize for trolling your stream in the past. Oh, I didn't even notice that you did that. So it's all good, fam. I never even noticed that you trolled. I've never seen any bad comments from you, to be honest. I've only seen good comments, so it's completely fine. But anyways, let me get to topic because I think this Ghana Nigeria. This is not a Ghana Nigeria stream, even though you guys know I'm joking, right? Yeah. So let me get to topic. So the topic for today is the colonial wigs that is the colonial wigs that African judges wear. And okay, this topic is actually not all of Africa, obviously. I'm saying Africa collectively, but you guys know that with colonization, right? A lot of their institutions are still in many African countries. Like, for instance, you go and you research some of the official languages of certain African countries, and you'll be shocked that some countries it's still English and French. Like, that's the official language. Of course, we have the tribal languages. Of course, we have our actual languages, but English and French are like widely used in a lot of institutions. You guys will actually be shocked that in certain African countries, especially if you're looking at different classes or different class systems, the way that you can tell somebody is educated is by how good they speak the colonizer's language. So I know y'all seen Nollywood because, let's use Nollywood because we don't have any other examples. Gollywood is trash. See, Nigerians, I give you props. The Ghana movies are trash. Anyway, so if any of you guys seen Nollywood movies and Nollywood films, um, have you guys noticed? And I probably will. Do I have a clip? I think I. Anyways, okay. Well, I don't have a clip right now, but I'll play one maybe a bit later. Have you guys noticed that the house boys, the house girls, like the people that don't have money in these Nollywood movies, are always the ones that speak bad English? But then the ones that have money or the ones that went to school are the ones that speak good English. Yeah. So a marker in a lot of these countries that you're educated or that you have money is that you can speak English or you can speak French. So to me, and you guys will be shocked, like there's actually people that make fun of village people for not being able to speak English or French properly. You would think, okay, all right, they don't know how to speak it properly. That's cool. We speak Tree. We speak Rwandese. Sorry, Kinyarwanda. We speak whatever language we speak. So why does it matter that this person can't speak English properly? Like, you make a couple of mistakes. If anyone here speaks a different language, like, that when you're learning a different language, sometimes you forget like the verbs, you forget the nouns, you forget the pronouns. Sometimes you say something and you even might misgender the word, right? And people will actually literally make fun of you because you can't speak proper English, but you're in Africa. You only learn English in school. And yes, you learn now because of modernization. You learn English because of the internet, you learn English because of TV. But really, when you're at home, you mostly speak your own language for the most part. So it's just funny how people to this day are still being heavily made fun of, heavily judged because they can't speak English. If you go to certain places, I don't know about other countries, but I know in Ghana, if you can't speak good English, they don't want you working at the bank. Like, there's certain institutions that if you can't speak good English, you can't get the job there. Like, you can't. They would rather choose somebody that's uglier, less qualified, but can put on the fake like English accent or the fake African English accent versus somebody who is maybe more qualified, but the English is just not Englishing. Like, it's not just coming out properly. Yeah. So that's it. I'm gonna let me play the first clip, and this channel will explain it. I know some of you guys seen this clip before, but it's just a throwback. So let's go ahead.
It's like the British left their colonies and left their wigs behind. You should have just followed them and say, yo, hey, you forgot this wig. Why would you continue this tradition of wearing wigs?
Hi. According to the dictionary, to be learned means to have acquired much knowledge through thorough study. Little wonder why lawyers call each other learned colleagues.
But one begins to question the intellect and the independent-mindedness of lawyers on the African continent,
when they can still think about letting go or coming up with another alternative to the 17th century outdated colonial wigs and gowns.
In Cameroon, which is a country that was formed by merging a former French colony with a former British colony, their judges wear these extremely elaborate French-British hybrid outfits. You have to remember, these people live in Africa.
So, the question that comes to mind is, how did the culture of wearing wigs and gowns begin? How did it get to Africa? And why is it important for us on the African continent to drop this culture of wearing wigs and gowns? Well, you'll find out the answer to this question if you watch this video to the end. Oh, if you love what I do, don't forget to share this video, follow this page, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So the history of wigs can be traced back to antiquity, back to ancient Egypt. But the kind of wigs our judges today on the African continent wear can be traced back to Europe in the 16th century. At the time, a disease called syphilis hit Europe, and one of the symptoms of the disease was balding head. So the men would wear wigs, big wigs, to conceal their balding head. One of the prominent men who popularized the use of wigs was Francis King Louis XIV. He began to wear wigs when he began to go bald at age 17. And because he was an elite, other elites began to copy the culture. And that was how the tradition of wearing wigs spread throughout Europe like wildfire.
The wigs were later adopted by the British court in the 1600s during the reign of Charles II.
And it became a symbol of the British judicial system. It's morning right here in Nigeria and it's already getting very hot. So like the wigs, probably due to the cold weather in Europe in the 17th century, gowns formed a major part of the attire, but the gowns were very colorful.
However, after the death of King Charles II, black gowns were worn for mourning the king. After the mourning period, the lawyers decided to keep wearing them.
And due to colonization and acculturation, black gowns were brought to Africa, and that is how lawyers in the African continent began to wear black gowns to our courtrooms, despite the hot weather condition.
In 2015, a Nigerian law blogger, Chioma Onene, wrote, "I have never seen a more pitiable sight than that of a learned Nigerian lawyer sweating profusely under the sweltering heat, while clad in the outdated wig and gown. Nothing more ridiculous."
I agree. It's absolutely ridiculous.
How do you as a government say that you are a sovereign state and say you are against colonial power and what it has done to your country, and then go back again and buy the wigs from them, from the previous masters, and spend your money to get that wig, which that wig is not even yours in the first place?
Debates on open ed have been written across different African countries on the need to discontinue this proud display of colonial relics in our courtrooms, but we have held on tightly to these attires even when the people who introduced them to us are making reforms to drop them. In defense of wigs and robes, a Kenyan lawyer said, "I don't feel at all it has any negative connotation of colonialism. It has risen beyond that. It is a tradition of the Kenyan bar."
This kind of statement from a learned Kenyan lawyer raises doubt if most of our so-called legal luminaries have a clue of our history. The call to jettison this attire isn't only about its inconvenience because of our weather. It's also about the system that introduced the dress code. Britain's colonial courts, which preceded independence, were brutal. For example, in response to the Kenyan Mau Mau rebellion in the 1950s, the wigged colonial judges sentenced more than 1,000 Kenyans to death for daring to challenge the colonial rule. Is this the kind of tradition this Kenyan lawyer wants us to uphold? I know that a lot of people would find this video trivial or unnecessary, but if you look deeply, you'll discover that this topic summarizes everything that is wrong with us as a people.
We cherish everything foreign, even when it's unsuitable for our living conditions. Even when things are made locally, it is stamped made in China or America, because many of us wouldn't buy if we discovered it was made locally.
In his derogatory remarks about Africans, Frederick Lord Lugard wrote, "The African is very prone to imitate anything new in dress and custom, whether it be the turban and flowing gown of the Muslim or the straw, hat and trouser of the European, however unsuited to his life and conditions."
If this statement does not make you think deeply about our predicament as a people, I don't know what else. The culture that invented wigs and gowns is different from ours. There are a lot of talented designers on the African continent who can come up with something unique for our justice system.
If we can't come up with something as simple as creating a suitable attire for our legal practitioners, how can we attempt to address bigger issues?
So, forget about the big things. Let's talk about the small things. Solving smaller issues like this shows a sign of self-awareness and consciousness, because
it makes all the difference, and that is the step needed for us to achieve bigger things.
Thank you for watching. Ngafunu Ogozo. See you next time. Hey guys, thank you for watching that video. I appreciate you if you make it thus far. Before you go, I want you to meet my friend Akin. He makes awesome videos. I want you to check out his channel. I will leave his link in the description box below. He makes awesome videos about Africa, educative and informative. If you love my videos, I'm sure you will love his videos. Check him out. Thank you. I'll see you.
Okay, guys. So you guys, yeah, you guys saw that. And that was a brilliant video. They did a really good job. I'll link I'll put the link in the description. But they explained it in just such a simple term and in such a simple way. Like, obviously, right, I'm not going to be naive enough and say get rid of the whole institution. That's not gonna happen. Like, you're not gonna get rid of uh the judicial system. You're not gonna get rid of the legislative branch. You're not gonna get rid of that. But like, can you not modify it? Like, can you not modify certain rules and laws? Can you not modify certain practices? Can you not modify even just the attire? Because I found it very, very interesting. Let me share the resource here. Um, trying to find it. They basically said that America, because I think this. I don't really know too much about law. I wish Mr. Uganda was here to explain it a bit, but I think he's sleeping. But I think it's barristers that wear the wigs. So it's not everybody, it's barristers and judges that primarily wear those wigs. But even in US, right? The American judges for the most part stopped that practice because it was a practice that, you know, America was once a colony of England or whatever before they decided to break free. So when America got its new independence and when they, did whatever they did, they tried to differentiate themselves from Britain a bit. So it wasn't really compulsory in America to do it. Now, I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what the resource here says. But in the case of the UK, apparently the barristers still wear it. I'm not sure if that's true as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is true because that's basically where it came from and that's where it was popular. Now, this obviously goes with um the whole aspect of, okay, a lot of people, especially the nobility, used to wear wigs back in the day. Like, we all seen pictures of King Louis the 13th, Marie Antoinette, a whole bunch of other people, a whole bunch of noble people. They used to wear wigs because of lice, bad genes, just a whole bunch of stuff. So they used to wear wigs. It was something that it was like an attire. It was part of your dress. It distinguished you from a peasant. It distinguished you from someone who didn't have money or was not educated. But I mean, this is a practice that is honestly so ancient and is so old. I seriously don't understand why we're still doing this. Like, even the Americans, their offspring, their great 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 grandchildren, their rebellious great 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 grandchildren said, we don't really want to do this anymore. We don't care. Like, we're Americans. We don't really care about this anymore. But it's just interesting. It's just interesting that people back home are like, oh no, it's not a big deal. It's just a wig. It's just this. It's just that. It's like, see, to me, the wig is ridiculous, right? But it's not just the wig. It's what the wig what the wig signifies. It really is just not necessary. It's really not important. And what's so hard about just saying that the wig is not mandatory anymore? Like, what's so difficult about just making that be rule? Um, I'm gonna give shout outs to Malawi though, because Malawi, I'm not sure if the whole country did it, but there was a whole movement in Malawi for them to actually stop wearing this. Like, they've actually had those type of conversations over there. So that's very, very interesting. I kind of wish that other people would wake up and think about this. But yeah, as you guys can see over here, Malawi court suspends wearing of wigs, gowns as temperature rises. Now, I'm not sure if it's the whole. I read another source that said that they were doing this in more courts, not just this one. Um, but yeah, like they've had this conversation and they, even if we're gonna blame it on because the temperature is rising, that's why they decided to stop wearing the wig, or you know, it's still commendable. Now, I'm not sure if again, because when I was looking at some resources, it seems like they're not really doing it as much in Malawi anymore. So shout outs to them because I mean, at least they're thinking about it or they've thought about it, you know. Um, yeah. So that's that. And actually there was this person, right? I was having this debate with somebody earlier this year, and they were like, you know what's funny? The wigs actually originally come from Egypt. Now, I'm not sure if this is true, but this is the evidence that they pointed. They were like, doesn't the wig doesn't the wig at the top resemble like the pharaoh's head? So isn't that where the inspiration came from? Now, knowing how they are, I wouldn't say this is so far-fetched to believe. I definitely can believe that, but either way, like it doesn't matter because this is the thing. It's not like we're wearing Pharaoh's head, right? So if you're saying that the colonizers got inspiration from Egypt, well, they still made it their own. Like they still made the wig to look like their actual hair and their hair texture or whatever. But you didn't go and import Pharaoh's head to you. You took the so-called imitation of the creation or the imitation of the original. So even if you want to say, oh, well, it originally came from Egypt, the idea originally came from Egypt, well, this is not what you're wearing. You're wearing the UK version of the Egyptian imitation. So either way, it's still, you still don't win. You know, you still don't win. That is not bragging rights. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now, I wanted to also show you guys this. Apparently the francophone countries do it too, which I'm really shocked, but let me show you guys this right here. This is an actual I think court procedure right here. Okay, so this is like an actual, I think, transcript of a court procedure or whatever, or the rules and laws and what you're supposed to do during court. Now, let me zoom in over here if I can. Okay, so you guys see it right here. While the court is in session, a lawyer should not assume an undignified posture and should not, without the judge's permission, remove his wig and gown in the courtroom. He should always be attired in a proper and dignified manner and abstain from apparel or ornament calculated to attract attention to himself. So they serious about the wig. It is not optional, it is mandatory, it is compulsory. And if you're actually not wearing the wig, then technically you're not in uniform. So you're not professional. You can get in trouble for that. You're misrepresenting. You'll get in trouble. It's just so funny. People taking this wig so serious. People are taking this wig so serious, and in certain European countries, again, I think the UK, the barristers, and maybe some other people in parliament or maybe some other people in law still use the wigs, but in some of these other European countries, they've actually banned it. They've actually looked back and said, hey, we were using this back in the days when we had lice, you know, we were using this back in the days when these wigs actually meant something, like it actually signified a great um, class divide. So there was a point in doing that, right? But now in 2010, now in 2020, now in 2015, now in 20 blah blah blah, do we still need to have that? So some European countries actually got rid of the wig requirement. But it's so funny. It's so funny how in the colonial systems, no problem, it's still there. It's just very, very interesting. Now, there was also, I'm gonna play a short clip and then I'll actually watch what some of you guys are saying in the comments. Thank you for being here, by the way. If you have anything to say about this, you can definitely come in a bit later. Um, what are you guys' thoughts on this? Like, do you guys think it's a big deal? Do you guys think it's not? Now, I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's just a wig. It's not a big." But if it's just a wig, why don't you get rid of it? If it's just a wig, like, do you get it? If it's not a big deal, why don't you just get rid of it? It's not that difficult, okay? It really is not that difficult to just pass a law and say, "Okay, this is no longer mandatory." Like, at least do that. But apparently, apparently we have better things to waste money on, right? Apparently. So right. I want to play the clip. I don't know if this is okay. Yeah, I have to stop the video because they was just making me cringe. Like they were going so much into detail about the wig. But I don't blame them, that's their tradition, that's their ancestry. So if they're proud about, their ancestors, inventing that and keeping that tradition going, I'm not mad at them because they're the ones selling these wigs to other people. Do you understand me? Some of these countries ban these practices, but they're still making money from selling their garbage wigs to you. And you don't care. So they're literally laughing all the way to the bank. And you're there talking about, oh, what's the big deal? We have more important matters to think about. Yeah, okay. You have more important matters to think about, but I mean, you can spend thousands ordering these wigs from abroad. At this point, if you really want the wig that bad, why make it yourself? Like, why are people acting like they don't know how to make their own clothes? You know how to make your own kente, you know how to make your own ankara, you know how to make your own blah blah blah, but you can't make your own colonial wig. If you like it that much, you still have to order it plus tax. Zimbabwe outlay on judges' wigs met with fury. Lawyers say economically shrinking countries' purchase of horsehair wigs. This is not really. This is not really. Oh gosh. Economically stricken countries' purchase of horsehead wigs made in London evokes spirits of colonialism. Lawyers in Zimbabwe have hit out a government decision to spend thousands of pounds on wigs made. Ooh, and it's even in pounds. That's heavy. Anyways, thousands of pounds on wigs made in England for local judges, saying the tradition evokes a colonial past that should not exist in modern Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe's Judicial Services Commission has placed an order for 64 wigs from Stanley Lay, and that website still exists. We will be going there. These wigs are expensive, guys. These wigs are expensive than some people's car payments. These forget car payments. These wigs are more expensive than some people's rent, some people's mortgage. These are not cheap wigs. Anyway, that's how much 64 wigs cost. But you don't have money to fix roads. You don't have money to pay people properly, but you have money for wig. Common wig. You just keep the wig on and take it off. Oh my goodness. And these are the same people that will make fun of black women for wearing wig, but you wearing a wig to court as a dude for your job. And it's a white wig on top of that. What? Oh. Listen. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Zimbabwe's reacted with anger on social media, questioning the wisdom of the government's expenditure at a time when courtrooms are cramped and ill-equipped. The national economy is crumbling, and according to the World Food Program, 63% of the population live below the poverty line. Now, this article I think was from maybe 2019, so obviously those figures have changed, but obviously they have not changed that drastically, and obviously they're still ordering the wigs. That has not stopped, right? So, anyways, yeah, you guys get the point. You guys get the point. You guys get the point. But yeah, I've ranted enough. I want to see what some of you guys are saying. Let's see what some of you guys are saying down here. Oh, Tunaja, stop this. Tunaja, you have Afro beats, you have Nollywood. Why can't other people win too? You guys are so selfish. Anyway, what are you guys saying in regards to the wig? Hi DEI, hi Gluet, hi Stoic One, hi Macrobia, Tunaja, hi Jug Season, hi Raz Moise, hi Ubala, hi Crenshaw, hi One Serio. And 100% true. What's up? I think MFD24, you said something really interesting. The Guardian archives what's going on, DI what's going on. Slockin saying in South Africa, you kind of stand out if you speak English around black people. There's a time and place to speak English. They mostly speak it around people who don't know any local languages. Oh, is that true? The English speaking countries, and no, it's the apparently the francophone speaking countries have this problem too, I think. Apparently, if I'm not mistaken, like I'm pretty sure Cameroon, they do this too. Senegal, they do it too. Togo, Ivory Coast. But I will say to their defense, um I think the francophone countries, because France is so like mean or more mean than Britain, I feel like the francophone countries it's gonna be easier. Like they're gonna have more vim basically to get out. Whereas the anglophone countries are gonna be like, oh, because the English treated us so nice, we're not really gonna have that kind of power, or we're not really gonna have the urgency to really detach from this. But if you're watching Mali, if you're watching Burkina Faso, if you're watching some of these francophone countries, they literally don't care about France. Okay, like they have something, like they have some hate, like they have something there. But with the Anglophone African countries, it's like, oh, speak to any common Ghanaian out there, okay? Speak to any common Ghanaian. You know what they say? Oh, yeah, the British is cool. They gave us independence. You know, we spoke to them at the table and they gave it to us. They weren't that bad. You think I'm joking? Ask any common Ghanaian out there. They'll be like, oh, yeah, the British are not that bad. We're cool with them. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, they're still stealing your gold every day. They're still stealing your oil every day, but you're sitting there saying, oh, they weren't that bad. You know, we're cool. We moved on. The hate is not there. Okay. The vim, the power, the revenge, whatever you want to call it, is not there. And I'm not saying, of course, I'm not saying that you have to go and like do something really, really bad to England or have a deep, strong hate in your heart for England. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is there's a certain level of amnesia, there's a certain level of docility. I don't know what it is, but there's a certain level of, it's like you don't even want to try and go to the table to demand better. You just accept whatever someone else gives you and you say, "Oh, they were so nice because they gave that to me." Like, how are you gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, they were so nice that they decided to like speak about our independence with us. They were so nice that we didn't have to have this major war." And I'm sitting here saying, "What's so nice about that?" What is so nice about that? But this is the part of, us that is just too nice, and some of us really need to snap out of it. We need to snap out of it. So but yeah, Amara, oh, I already read that. Hi, Don Parker. Crenshaw Grinder saying the Nigerians and other Africans, I'll put in parentheses, could use the Nubian wigs. What are the Nubian wigs? Are those the ones that are from like ancient Egypt? Those ones? Yeah, I suppose. But really, being realistic, right? In 2022, there doesn't need to be any wigs, period. I don't think it could be a hat, because it's an attire, it's a uniform. So if anything, there could be a hat. But is a wig at all even necessary? I don't think so. But anyway, evidently, I'm not making any of these rules and laws, so I guess I'm just talking. Maybe they should DiCapriano, maybe they should revolutionize those wigs by making them with the baby hairs and the slick back. Oh my goodness, you're so funny. You just killed me. Oh man, this don't look right. Yeah, I'm wondering, do they do this in other African countries too? Because I don't, like, from what I've seen, it was Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, Kenya, Tanzania, and maybe a couple Malawi, and maybe a couple, but I don't think it's everywhere. I guess it depends on who you adopted your institutions from, right? I guess that's where it comes from, but yeah, I don't think other African countries are dealing with that, and lucky to be you. Kwesi saying South African judges don't wear colonial wigs. They don't? They don't? Oh, I had no idea. Interesting. I had no idea. Them wigs look like washcloth. Them wigs, them wigs are so expensive, but they're uglier than my wigs. How does that even happen? Hey, what happens when someone snatches your wig in court? Well, that I'm pretty sure that's gonna be an assault or an offense, because you're undressing a member of parliament, like you're undressing a professional. So that's not allowed, I'm assuming. Uh MFD24 saying African millennial, we need appointed like in the Egyptian paintings, an old white beard. Oh, okay. So you're saying that we need wigs like that look like that? We don't need wigs, period. Hi, Frederick. How you doing? Yeah, I know. We're going to the World Cup. We're going to FIFA again, and we're gonna beat everybody like we did. But anyways, bad topic. Those things look like bathroom carpet. The British wore this because of lice back in the days. Yeah, exactly. And let me actually show you guys, because let me show you guys how expensive these wigs are. And this is the thing, right? This is money that's literally going back to the UK for wigs. That's serious mental illness. This is serious mental illness. You see this? Do you guys see these prices? By the way, if you want to order it, there may be a sale. I don't know. They have dark brown, they have light gray, they have different sizes. This is madness. And this is one of the websites that actually some countries actually use to buy their wigs. So yeah, like it's crazy. Um Brazilian weave, Peruvian weave, and British weave. Last time we were having this conversation, Amara actually came into the panel and he said that a lot of people don't understand that because you're going to school for so long, we all know that being a lawyer is a very high esteemed position, right? Like it's not easy to, well, actually, it kind of is easy to be, it's easier to be a lawyer than a doctor. But anyway, you still have to be very bright to be a lawyer, right? You have to put in work, you have to put in time, you have to put in effort. So it's like he was basically explaining that after you going to all that school, right? Like after you paying all that tuition, after you doing all of that, the pride is for you to actually wear the wig because you overcome, you survived, you succeeded, you've climbed to the top. So the wig, even though we're here making fun of it, we're here ripping it, going hard, kicking and laughing about it. That is actually a status symbol, okay? Like you actually see people out there flaunting their wig, like, hey, I made it. I'm a big boy. Shout outs to Kazoria. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 100 shillings. That's definitely gonna pay my rent this month. So I'm really, really thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But yes, you go to all this school, you go to all this university, you get all this degree, and then you get to go to the store. You wake up, drive in your car with your wig, and everybody knows that you be the boss. You're the boss, you're the bossu, you're the big man, you're the big woman, you're the daddy, you're everything, you're top dog because you got the wig. So it's actually a sign of authority, like it's a sign of social status. So even though we're out here making fun of it, like there's actually people that are like, I put so much blood, sweat, and tears to get to this position for me to be able to wear this wig and to wear this robe. Like it's actually a sign of accomplishment. So as you can see, these people look really happy. It's not like they're depressed wearing it. It's not like they're like, oh, okay, this is normal, right? Yeah. Let me share one more resource before I open it up for if anyone wants to come in here, by the way. Or maybe I'll just keep it this way. Who knows? Um okay, let me share this right here. Okay. So right here it says Ghana's judges colonial era wigs won't be retired. This was in 2020. Last month, Ghana's new Chief Justice Kwesi Eninyeboah caused a stir when he stated categorically that the ceremonial wigs and gowns, as worn by the judges, would not be retired, despite a groundswell of public opinion. A groundswell of public opinion demanding for this to happen. So, despite some public discourse about debating on whether they should be retired, whether they should go away, uh, the new chief of justice said, uh, "It's not gonna go away. Like it doesn't need to go away, right?" So he's saying, appearing before the appointment of committee of the Ghanaian Parliament Justice, Eninia Bois made it crystal clear that the judiciary under him would not change the tradition of wearing wigs, gowns, and suits despite the being relics of a past long under British colonial rule. Now, okay, fine, I get it. Maybe it's not that hot. It's not that hot for you to remove the wig, but isn't it that hot for you to remove the gown? Like, it's like whichever way you want to spin this, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, whichever angle you want to take it, it's actually is nuts. It's ridiculous, right? His reason was that legal practitioners like those of other vocations, such as pastors, imams, and monks, stand out for their unique dress codes, which distinguish them from others in Ghanaian society. Oh, okay. So the selfish matters or the selfish reasons of you being distinguished as a barrister, as a judge, as a high court official, that is one of the main reasons why you should still be keeping that attire. That's the justification. Really? So it's basically like, no, I still want my right to stunt on those other poor, classless people. That's literally it. Oh gosh. I'm seriously done. I'm done. Like I'm honestly like speechless. Completely speechless. You don't get it. He's saying judges should be no exception to this rule. Zama, stop for a bit and see what some of you guys are saying. Wearing these wigs of the former colonizer is another form of self-oppression, and always looking at the former oppressor as your superior. Absolutely. They stole most things exactly. But it's funny. It's so funny. They steal things, make it different, and then they sell it back and we buy it. And I'm just sitting here like, oh my goodness, are you serious right now? You didn't even invent this. You just created it, you marketed it in a really interesting manner, and then we're buying it. This is why some of them literally call us idiots. This is literally why some of them literally call us idiots collectively. Maybe, oh, I'm not an idiot. I'm not talking about you. Okay? Collectively, this is why they think that collectively we are idiots because they sell us anything and we just take it and we don't question it. Oh gosh, this is disgusting. This is absolutely gross. Saying essay male judges wear dresses and skirt, Nigerian. To give credits to the Nigerian government, to give credits to Buhari, because I did rip through Nigerians a little bit in the beginning of the stream. To give them credit, their president is usually always wearing his attire. President Buhari is usually wearing his Fulani attire. That's one thing that I could actually appreciate about President Buhari. Because if you look at some of these other presidents, right? Just look at any of these African president conventions whenever they go to like Paris, whenever they go to America, whenever they go to any of these conventions, you'll usually see um Buhari in his own attire, at least. And that should definitely be given some respect. Okay? Because one thing I can say is Kufuado, he's usually always wearing those suits. He is, okay? I can admit that Kufuado is usually wearing those suits. Paul Biya, I've never seen Paul Biya wear a traditional attire. I'm pretty sure he does, but when he goes to international meetings, he's always wearing the suits. You see? So that's one thing that I could really appreciate, Mr. Buhari, that he normally is always wearing his Mr. Buhari is usually always wearing his Fulani clothes. Let me see if I can. Oh, wow, I can spell. Yeah, so President Buhari, he doesn't wear suit and tie much. And that's one thing that I can say I actually do appreciate about him, because I mean, it's one thing to be wearing your own country attire, like in your own country. But when you go to international meetings, when you go to international conventions, and you're still wearing that your country's attire, that's a big deal. Okay? That is a big deal. Okay, so I guess in the pitch in the one of the official Nigerian pictures is there. But guys, I'm telling you, it's very rare that you'll see him dressed like that. He normally is dressed like this. So anyway, that's enough about President Bori. I need to stop praising him for 1 minute. Like, I need to stop. Okay. So AM Cameroon just qualified to World Cup. Yes, Cameroon qualified. Yes, Cameroon. Yes. Oh, the West Africans, we killing it. West and North Africans, we killing it. We killing it, except for Nigerians. So, except for Nigerians, but congratulations to Cameroon. No, Cameroon, guys. Now, this is gonna I'm gonna quickly talk about Cameroon. Cameroonians are so nice. They are like some of the most attractive people on earth. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they drink, but Cameroon people are very nice looking. You research on your own time if you think I'm joking. Anyway, Kwesi is saying Mike Myers, Nigerian judges wear the colonial wigs. Kaizo is saying that I should drop the link. Wait, let me see something. Kaizo, I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link. I think I had something else to show, but I'll show it in the meanwhile. Steve T is saying that wearing wigs of the former colonializer is a form. Okay, I think I already read that. Really? Why would Nigerian flee to South Africa and thousands die trying to get to Europe? Oh man, okay. I, where did that come from? Okay. The last picture was Sierra Leone. Okay. So I guess you guys are having a talk between yourselves. Imagine saying I studied hard for more than 3 years in law school just to look like a Disney villain. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I was trying to show some countries where they still do this, right? And I got a source right here. But in former British colonies, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Malawi, and others, they live on, warned by judges and lawyers. Now, a new generation of African jurists is asking, why are the continent's most prominent legal minds still wearing the trappings of the colonizers? It's not just a question of aesthetics. The wigs and robes, and perhaps the most glaring symbol of colonial inheritance at a time when that history is being dredged up in all sorts of ways. This year, Tanzanian President John Magufuli, God rest his soul, described a proposed free trade agreement with Europe as a form of colonialism. In Zimbabwe, President Mugabe still refers to the British as teasing colonialists. In June, the premier of the Western Cape province of South Africa was suspended from her party after writing on Twitter that modern healthcare was a colonial contribution. The relics of colonialism are scattered across the continent. There are the Queen's namesakes, which is very true, actually. Uh, yeah, Lake Victoria. We have some countries where the capital is still named after a colonial leader, and it really begs the question, like, Queen of it, Queen of Queen Victoria didn't care about Africa at all. Okay, she didn't. Queen Elizabeth, she's a witch. So is all her family. She killed her own Princess Diana. These people do not care, but African countries still have cities named Charleston, Victoria Park, blah 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 blah. It's like, oh my goodness, like just change the name. It is just a name. Oh my gosh. That word is not even in your language. That name is not even in your language. It's crazy. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and add Rwangalese to the chat. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, hey.
What's
Am I
up?
the only one?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, I thought Kaz would be here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he's the one who was asking for the link. No, but yeah, I got, very strong opinion about this. But also, I've been on your stream for a minute. I'm always listening. I'm just not commenting or, on that stream. So, but I'm always listening though, to be honest.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
But yeah, this is an embarrassment. I feel like this is the most embarrassment thing any Africans can do, because it's like we cannot create our own things. Basically, we just have to follow other people what they do, even though themselves are rejected the idea. They don't want nothing to do with it, but we still following it. It shows how pathetic we are. It shows how weak we are, because we following people who basically are rejected it. Basically, they're like, nah, that's not important, but we following it. It's sad, honestly.
It is sad.
And it's just, and it looks ugly. First of all, I just don't understand why Africans, who are so brainwashed to the point where we have to follow other people's ideas in a way of thinking where it's like we cannot do our own thinking for ourselves, basically.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Like, I get it. See. I understand why the wigs were there. So this is not an argument of how did it get there? Why did it get there? Like, we all understand that, right? But the thing is, we can literally just change it now. Like, we can literally just remove it. It's just not that difficult. That's the part that makes me so upset. It's like, ugh,
I mean, that
countries have gotten rid of it, but it's like,
the thing is that I think it's oh, it means something important. It doesn't really. You get your education, you get it. That diploma, it should be the thing you should show. Like I've been in so many offices where people put their diploma on the, on the office. That's the first thing you see when you walk in, or inside their house. That's the first thing you see. It's that diploma showing that yes, I did it. Having a wig on, it's not that important. You can really throw that junk out. It don't
listen,
mean
I
anything.
support wigs, okay? I support
Listen, I don't.
wigs, but not not
I
not
don't.
not not those wigs. I support wigs, but not those wigs.
No, I know what you're talking about. I just
Yeah,
don't. I don't. But listen, everyone got their own preference. That's fine.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's those wigs are very ridiculous and they're ugly. At least
They are
when
ugly.
they wig, they're trying to look beautiful. These people not trying to look beautiful. They're just trying to
No,
look
no,
ridiculous.
they are ugly. They are. Like, we can look at this old grandpa. Come on. It doesn't look right. But let me go down over here, guys. Again, another justification of why the wig should be kept, right? So there was an article making rounds on social media last week querying why African judges still wear wigs 50 years after the end of colonization. The question remains a past colonial conundrum. What is so appealing about the trappings of a judicial system that robbed an entire continent of its freedom and imposed foreign laws and more? Surely it can't be the horsehair wigs and the Santa esque clothes. So what could it be? The answer is we may never know. All we know is that yesterday's colonial subjects and today's uh, educators are vehemently opposed to anyone snatching their wigs. End of discussion. In the same article, a prominent Ghanaian lawyer, Augustine Niber, was quoted as saying that removing wigs would reduce the intimidation and fear that often characterize our courtrooms. So there you have it.
What?
Yes, removing the wig would reduce the intimidation and the fear.
That's the most ridiculous thing I ever. You know how many times I've been in court? Not a lot of times, but I've been in court. I don't need to see them wearing wigs to be afraid because you never know what's gonna happen. Because they're making the law. They'll if you're in trouble, listen, there's nothing you can do. Until they say something, you always gonna be afraid because you do not know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So that's the most ridiculous. I feel it's just a bunch of excuses, honestly.
Honestly, like, it's just, to me, it's just such an easy solution. That's why it makes me so sad. It's I mean, people are spending the equivalent of cars on just ordering the wig by itself. That's not even the whole set because the wig comes with the gown, it comes with the shoes, this is expensive. Like, oh my goodness. And you can't wear one wig all the time. You have to change it.
That's the problem. You see, most people that wear these wigs, because I know a lot of my family members that are in this.
Yeah.
And I was talking to one of my cousins. He said, Africa, we attach a lot to respect and authority, right? Respect is big in Africa. That's why we have elders. We have age. Age is huge in Africa for knowledge and respect. So that gown right there and that wig equates to authority. You know, when I step in my presence, you're supposed to acknowledge my presence. You know, that I've achieved X, Y, and Z. You know, I'm just not an ordinary average person that comes across. You know, people are supposed to acknowledge their presence and blood, sweat, and tears, how long it took them to get there. You know, so being that we are societies are based on respect and authority, you know, that's blends. It's hard for those guys to give that up. It's really hard for them to give it up because it's a recognition that, oh, I'm an authority, like a police having a badge, military guys having a uniform and a gun. That's a sign of authority, you know? So with them, it's the same thing. When you see that man come up with a wig and a regalia and his gown, particularly on those big events, like when the president is giving the State of the Union, the speech in Parliament, opening Parliament. Oh, you have this guy. I'm telling you, my cousins and them, they have the red one, the red gown, and the long regalia that comes all the way to their chest. But they put it in you know, these like they dry clean. You know when you dry clean your clothes, you still have that plastic on it. These guys preserve that. I'm telling you, African Millennium, they preserve that in that dry cleaning plastic robe. You know, the other one with the zipper, they don't touch it on special occasions. They take it out on special occasions because the paramount chiefs have their own dress. The judges have their own military. You know, military, even the army and the police, they have a special. Their uniforms are special when it comes to like special events, like Independence Day, you know, celebrations or opening of Parliament or stuff like that. Those are big occasions. Everybody comes up with their own. I'm telling you, I used to look at. Oh man, that's the thing right there. Because our culture is based on authority and respect. It's gonna be hard for people to give up these wigs and regalia. That's our culture. You know, the British knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They knew exactly what they were doing. I'm telling you. You go out, we go even. I'm telling you, African Millennial, I was laughing at my cousin. Okay, when it came up, I'm not. We have different fortunes, right? Okay, they came up in the village, right? We came up in the city, and we had more than them. But when he went through school and went through all that, my daddy put him through school, and so even he's not so socially exposed. He's such a bookworm. He's not so socially exposed to like when you're going out anywhere, you wear your fancy clothes. It's not a fashionistic. You know, most of those people from the village, they're not fashionistics. You know? So to impress girls, African Millennial, he'll wear that. He'll wear the iron it. He iron it so neatly. And then where everybody's going with their fashion or whatever, he steps in. Then, you know, all the girls be like, oh, he's a lawyer. Yeah, like him sign of respect. I'm telling you, people they wear that just because, you know, that's our culture. Our culture appearance is key. When you step in, you know, they say chief whatever stepped in. Such and such as came in, you know, to a party or event or wherever. You know, you get people turning their heads, looking and asking about who that is. And people like the attention. They love the attention.
Yeah.
But he got a lot of girls though. Them girls, they were, you know, looking for, yeah, he wore it. He wore his gown and whatever. He step over there, party, and everybody, You know, turning around, and they equate that with success and money. Oh yeah, I need to be. Some of the girls be like, I need to be with a guy like that, a lawyer like that. Yeah, they got money. You know, his status, he's educated. He's educated, and you know, he brings in money. So that's two boxes you already checked in. You know, so people go. Well, I'm telling you, people study hard, do whatever they need to do to be like this, so they gain the respect. Even if they had hard times talking to women, you know, sometimes in Africa, you know, when somebody's going to school, you try to talk to certain girls, the high maintenance girls, they don't look at you. They don't look at you. So sometimes some of these boys, they go all out, they study. When they be a lawyer, they achieve their educational level. Then now they got the attention of the girls. All the girls, they were not looking at them back then. They look at them. All the people who are looking down on them, they look up to them. It's not only females, but it's society in general. You know, they gain respect. They're putting all their heart and sweat, blood, sweat, and tears, and study hard to get all that, so they can gain respect among people. So to get them to take that off,
Yeah, fight, isn't it?
it's not gonna be easy. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. It's not gonna be easy. So let them just do their thing. I mean, I'm telling you, this red one, exactly. This is the one right here. It's on special occasions, like opening of Parliament, Independence Day. What? They got that neatly. They don't even use it all year long. They got it in plastic. They're dry cleaning plastic, especially in the wardrobe. You don't touch that. You take it out. It's all crisp. You don't even need to iron it. It's all crisp, neat. You know, wherever they walk around here, they turn heads. People recognize them. People that didn't want to respect them. You know?
True.
Yeah. So it's yeah, but even other Africans going to school. When you graduate from secondary school, you got a graduation gown, the suits and tie. You got a suit and tie on your prize giving or Thanksgiving, your final year. That's respect right there too. You know, you get there, you impress some girls out there like, well, you graduated out of high school. Yes, this is my full suit, my tie and my, you know, the ones that have bow ties have bow ties. The ones that have the hats. They'll go with it. Then when you go to university, the last year graduation gown, you get your graduation gown, and that's all respect right there. Telling you. So the people have those items to culture like Africa that emphasizes on appearance. Oh, those guys are not gonna give it up. They just adopted the British culture, the European culture as like an African culture. They're not looking at it from that perspective. It's just like when it's you know, parties or wherever, everybody take out their best. Everybody bring out their best clothes. That's African culture. We got it in us. So the Europeans were like, well, we can just add this to them, since they're so, you know, ceremonies and whatever. They so they like to give a good impression about their presence. That whatever you wear from head to toe, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna let Tribal African go ahead. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've been late. Is it about the weave that we were talking about?
Not necessarily. Just
Yeah.
the
So
ones in the court. Yeah.
yeah, you see, this is out of colonialism and neo-colonialism. Okay, if you look in most African judiciary system, they're either practicing British common law or the French civil law. most of African law is been written, you believe me or not, it's been written and rectified by this country. You might think we have a law on our own. No, we are just practicing either British common law or French civil law in Africa. And we are just copying exactly what these people have given us. These people might be educated, but they are very, what am I going to say? They are unconscious people. Everything for them is just a show. They're just like, they dress like that because they think dressing like that makes them important. They have no consciousness of their action because they're just there to implement the law that was given to them by the French people. I don't know about Ghana. I don't know about some African countries. But in Cameroon, the judiciary system, like in French Cameroon, is written and rectified in France. As bad as it is, they practice the French civil law in Cameroon. And the English side, they practice the English common law in Cameroon. So it's a really bad, it's a system that was created, neo-colonialism, because most of Africans, like big insurance company, have been, they are financed by European companies, like big insurance. Like if you've got, let's say the oil, like I'll take for example the Sonora, the oil the oil company in Cameroon, the what's it called, the finance, the insurance of that company is a French company. It's a French company that provides insurance for workers in that company. So if anything happens to them, let's say they get an accident, that French company is the one that's gonna that will compensate them. So because of that, they're using the French law. They're gonna judge them based on the French civil law. So these people, these people are just like mimicking what these colonial people tell them to do. That's why I always insist that we must get rid of this base of politicians. No matter how they dress, you look at them, they're just like stupid people that don't even know what to do. They're just like following the footstep of this colonial law that was given to them. And they'll do their best to keep it the same. They're not conscious. They don't even know what to do it. They might dress the way they dress. They might go to school, but it is just bullshit. No, it's not. It's a system that was designed to remain like that, to make them be inferior to this European, and they're happy, and that's what they're going to keep. This system can't continue to work. It must be completely eradicated out of Africa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about Ghana, but if you go into.
I know that it's modeled after the British common law parliamentary system thing.
Yeah, most like the English-speaking countries in Africa, they practice the common law, and this common law is they're just mimicking the European common law. If anyone gets like most big politicians, if they're going to be judged out of the country, it's probably they're going to use common law to judge them. And if you look at the back, like back in the days, the British, like the House of Lords, or what they call the House of Commons, that's how they dress. It was some kind of ancient way of people dressing, and these people, they brought it to Africa during the time. So if you look at these pictures, this long Napoleon age kind of, these pictures, you will see them dressing like that because it was like nobility for them. But they have brought this thing to Africa, they have abandoned it, but these people still say it is nobility because they want, that's what they don't understand.
Okay, were we forced to wear that, or did we choose to wear that?
They were forced to wear it because because they had to study. The British people had to teach them the law, so they had to learn the common law from the British or the French civil law from the French. So they had to be like those people that taught them. They were forced to be like that. If you're coming to learn, if you yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. So yeah, they're just mimicking that. So if you're going to that school of law to learn law, you must dress like these people. But they didn't know these people came from a society that is hot that's coal, so they had to dress a certain way to protect them from coal. But we just mimicking. It's like monkey see, monkey do. Do you know what I mean? So this is the kind of mindset that we still have in Africa. All these people sitting in their parliament, they're not conscious. They're just mimicking, like I say, monkey see, monkey do. And it's just ridiculous that they think that is cool. They think that it makes them look, I don't know, important in the society. It's just a system that we need to get rid of it completely, because it just looks so ridiculous. And they are not even aware. I don't even think these British people, they dress like that in their parliament. They don't. In their courts, they don't. It's just like something like a tradition for them. Yeah, this look. If you just look at them, they look stupid. All of them. You see, they just look like
I agree.
Stupid people.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you for calling in.
Oh, hi, African Millennial. Long time.
Yeah, long time. How's Hamilton?
Hamilton is all great. It's all good. Just to contribute to the discussion, this is just the legacy of the European colonialism. As Great African just contributed, it has been linked to it basically feel an inferiority there. I don't really even think that even in this 21st century that any country that has been colonized by the British should continue wearing these European wigs. They look ridiculous, especially in 2022.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, let's look at judges in North America, for example. How many of them are wearing wigs, even though that North America is a British colony? I mean, am I wrong?
Exactly.
No, they don't. They dress normally.
They dress like normal everyday.
Yeah, they just have a suit, and even you see the judges in America, Parliament, and what in the High Court, they just dress normal people.
Like everyday people, they just get dressed like everyday normal people. But
yeah, they may have the black robe, but no one is putting on a bloody weave.
That's the thing. That's the point. I mean, it's just part of the vestiges of colonialism. Even India is also India was colonized longer than India experienced almost 250 years of British rule, right? Compared to the African continent. The African continent had the shortest colonial period, let's say from just 50, 60 years. Whereas
we had
India,
70
oh,
years.
sorry, 70 years. Thank you for correcting me. Whereas the Americas, Australia, even New Zealand had a longer colonial period than the African continent. But yet and still, if you look at their parliaments and their judges, they are not wearing wigs. No Indian judge is wearing a British wig in their parliaments, in their judges of offices. Why is Africa still holding on to the vestiges of colonialism? That's what I want to know.
They want to make them look stupid and ridiculous in front of the whole world, and they don't even understand.
Look, just look at African millennials just put it up right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I haven't even seen people wear wigs.
They don't. Those are American judges.
Yeah.
They don't. This thing was done in the Victorian age. Okay, like this guy over there, what's that? It looks like Adam Smith. Yeah, the one before. Yeah. If you look the year that guy wore that thing, it's like the 16th or 17th century. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't even know. They don't do that again because it looks ridiculous, But we Africans, monkey see, monkey do.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks ridiculous. I don't know if their hair even itchy. Do they even think that, okay, they watch all these judges show, doesn't that come to mind that, wait a minute, why am I still wearing this? Nobody across the planet is still wearing British nasty wigs. I mean, it looks ridiculous. These are grown-ass 40, 50-something-year-old people. They are not even questioning themselves that, why am I still wearing this?
They don't have that capacity, that capability. They don't even have that consciousness that something is wrong. That is the problem. They're just there to fill spaces. Where are you from? What country are you from?
Oh, I'm Nigerian.
Yeah, so if you go and look at Nigerian law, it's probably common law.
Yeah, it is part of the modern British law, but
Yes.
even I'm pretty sure that some of those lawyers are well educated and well traveled. They have been outside of the African continent.
Okay.
They are not seeing their European, Asian, or North American counterparts still wearing their wigs, though.
Well, there's still nothing wrong with that. I always try to distinguish between being educated and being conscious. Educated man without consciousness, to me, is
He's
just as
a
equal as an educated person. It
no, he's
doesn't
just a
matter.
lost cause.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how educated he is, but if he's not conscious, if you don't understand your immediate surrounding, your immediate environment, what is happening in your own country, your education is null and void. We don't need it. A conscious person is not going to do that. To me, it just shows how unconscious these people are, and it's really frightening that these are the people that are making laws in our countries. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were talking about during colonial times, I think when the Mau Mau thing was happening, and they were basically like they tried them in court, and they got upset at them because they weren't dressed in proper attire for court. And they were like, "We're in court. Why does it matter what you're wearing?" And they're like, "No, you have to actually dress a certain way to come to court. So even to be tried, I don't know about today, but actually it is true. When you go to court, you do have to dress a certain way. Anyway, so even if you're going to court, something's going on, and you're not dressed a certain way, then that's still a problem. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, this if you look like the English American, you look at cases, even the judge himself, he just wear like a black robe. Yeah, that makes sense to distinguish himself. It's just a robe. He dressed normal. He just has a black quirk, like a black quad that he just put over his shoulders, and that is it. No one is wearing a bloody wig. I don't know why these people. I don't know what's going on in your head. Why can't they say? Why can someone question that? Why can someone ask, why do we wear this weave? It's better you can even wear this African this red cap. Yeah, it's better. If you want something on your head, get this African or kente red hat, something to distinguish yourself. Why a bloody wig? Is even you're on a hot climate zone. What's the point? So it's colonialism and neo-colonialism, and it's still inside African society. And
I raised the question last time I was in Africa. I don't think African may ask on this question. I said, do you think the diversity of the African continent is a blessing or a curse? And I believe it's a curse. And I also had a second question. The African population, as according to their estimates, is the so-called 1.4 billion people, and the Asian continent is 4.4. Shouldn't Asia be a more diverse continent than Africa is? Just saying.
Wait. Are you saying that the Asian continent isn't as diverse as the African continent?
I'm
Because
just saying that due
doesn't
to
that
their massive
take into
population size,
account,
they
like,
should be,
because I'm
they
thinking
should be more. Sorry, okay.
Indians, Pakistanis are different, and Russians are different, and
Really? They all share the same Euro-Asian continent, though. The same Indo plates. I forgot what it is. Indo-Malaysia. I've forgotten what it's called. They've been living in that region for multiples of centuries. And if you look at the total population of Asia, is 4.4 billion, whereas the African continent is 1.4, 1.5. And I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of diverse ethnic groups living on the Asian continent, but they have somehow managed to get their shit together a lot better than the African continent have.
I see your point, and I'm gonna come back to that. I will redirect that question. Thank you to just call me Brian. $50. You guys have money. I don't know what you guys do, but you guys have money. Anyways, $50. I appreciate it. Actually, Egypt and Sudan was under British colonial rule, and none of their officials or court wear British wigs. In Sudan case, their government officials wear traditional village clothes, but on occasion wear the black robe. That's about it. I'm gonna Google that. How come this is just confusing? So it's not every English colony that adopted that. Hmm. And just call me Brian. I have a question for you. Were the British more violent in Sudan? Like how is the relationship between the British and Sudan? Because maybe that will answer the question. Because I know in Ghana, for instance, like Ghana and the British later on they became best friends. I hate to admit it, but I don't even think Ghanaians have any type of like ill feeling towards anything that happened.
Neither
Yeah,
do
see,
Nigerians too.
yeah, I've been searching that thing. That thing was won is the British Parliament in 1870. That's 1870. So if you just look for English colonial, there's a British colonial parliament 1870 costume. That's 1870. That's almost how many? Like almost 300 years ago, 200 years ago. So
Oh
for
no.
them, it's just a tradition. That's what the war long time ago. But this way, for some reason, this I don't know. I don't know how to call them. They still think that's cool. I don't understand. You know, so that's just trying to prove the point that neocolonialism is still really is like alive still, and we need to get rid of it out, and we can only do that through politics and nothing else.
If these wigs were not that expensive, I would actually buy one as a social experiment. But
Yeah, you can buy it. It's always the Chinese people are selling it. It's all you
oh
can.
yeah, no, actually you're right. When I did Google it, there are some like Amazon and eBay that
You
have it
can buy
cheap.
the complete costume if you want. The black robe, the white thing is cheap. It's something really cheap. It's not something that's even expensive. It's cheap from China.
So I guess the difference is if you're buying it from eBay or whatever, you're not buying the horse hair. You're buying the fake one, but it still is a
All
wig.
all thing
Why
is
would
fake.
anybody
See,
want to buy that stuff anyway?
all thing is fake. All thing is fake. Present day Europe. You can't take a horse hair to put it on your hair. These animal right people are gonna come for you. It's just synthetic. It's fake. You can't use horse
Oh,
hair anymore to do anything now. You don't want a problem with animals right people. So it's just some cheap synthetic weave, like I don't know, some cheap thing, made by the Chinese people.
okay, let me go ahead and drop the link once more. If anyone else wants to come in, you're more than welcome. And Dr. Kasim, thanks for calling. How is it in Kenya? Do you guys wear those wigs?
The picture you showed earlier, who was that? Was it what country was that? Was that Nigeria?
Which one? The one in the red?
Yeah.
Amara said that's Sierra Leone. This
Sierra
one, right?
Leone. Okay, Sierra Leone. Yeah, it's the same. That's 1870 costume. And these morons are using them in 2022. To them, it's cool. It's like cool for them. They look great, and it's just disgusting.
But yeah, Dr. Kasim, are you unmuted? Can't hear you. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll just wait for him to come back a bit later. But yeah, I didn't really have anything else to add to this. It's sad to me because as Amara explained earlier in the stream, it's like this is a social status. So you know how people are about that. You know how people like to be identified by their class, you know? So it's like,
Yeah, of course. The
what
Kenyans,
incentive are you
they
gonna
dress.
give them?
Kenyans lawyers just dress the same. They wear the weave. It's something. It's like any colony that was British, probably gonna wear the same thing. You know.
Wait. Kenyan lawyers do not wear that. I don't know where that comes from.
Search it, please.
They
Just
I
do
went
wear
in a
that.
Kenyan court last week. There's no one wearing that.
That still exists in Kenya though.
search it. Let's see. Just search it. No, I
What
know.
they search it? I'm telling you, I was in a court. In fact,
That's why. Yeah, just search it. I know you're trying to always prove that Kenya is better. Search it.
no, it's not about that. I have a court case. I go to court every 2 weeks. No one.
What court? What court do you go? What level of court?
Right. Okay. I go to the bottom level, obviously. So that's a magistrate court. No one is wearing that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah. That's like the Supreme or High Court or things like that. They do dress like that. Or when they have these like festivals of lawyers, they do dress like that.
I can't comment on that. I've not been to those courts. But in terms of the
There was an
magistrate.
article that we played that it wasn't a Kenyan speaking about this.
Yeah, I think, look, okay, so let's say in Kenya, there's 3 courts. There's a magistrate, then you have the High Court, then you have the Supreme Court. Lawyers, in general, don't wear that stuff. Maybe the judge will wear it. The magistrate will not wear it. And the judge is only at the Supreme Court. So the High Court is still a magistrate. So really, it's just a judge wearing it. I've never seen a lawyer wear those things, even inside any of the courts. Maybe it's just, I've not seen a single lawyer wear it, actually.
Well, like lawyers, I don't know about Kenyans. When you say lawyer, you're meaning a private firm. I think the right people who don't.
No, I'm talking about
those are magistrate. I think they do.
About in the court.
Huh?
I'm talking about the actual court. As in I've never seen. In fact, I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna be going there in 2 days. I'll record the.
I don't know if it's compulsory, but they do. Most African countries.
I've never seen them, so I don't know about this.
No, but okay, maybe it's not at the local level, but as you mentioned, at more Supreme Court important hearings, then they do wear that.
Right. So the court is still the same. It's just, the whole building is the same, but I've never, as in what I'm saying is, every time I've gone to that building, I've never seen a single person wear a wig.
Well, I don't know. I'm just searching online Kenyan lawyers, and all of them are with. I don't know what you're looking at, but anyway,
I'm looking reality. You're looking online.
Okay, all right. We're gonna come back to that, but we're gonna let Chillins and Grits go ahead. Thanks for calling in. And if any of you guys want to share your resources, you're more than welcome to do that, by the way. Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, everybody? I just want to give you my little highlight of your question you asked about the Sudanese case. It was the war between the British and it was mainly the North, I would guess, but it stretched not only from Sudan, it stretched from, I think, close to Ethiopia. It was the Malawi War. Actually, Hollywood did a lot of films on that. One film actually starred the South Sudanese. She wasn't a star in that movie, but she played some tribal person who killed a British person.
Hang on, African Millennial, please share this. This is standard. This is a Kenyan newspaper, a pretty standard one, pun intended. Yeah, I think they've been removed.
You do me a favor. You just now. You interrupted, bro.
Yeah, I know. You can finish.
Don't do that. But anyway. It was a violent, I guess, so-called British conquest. You could pretty much get a lot of information. It is the Malawi War. It was deadly, where one of the most famous British generals got killed in the Malawi War. His name was Charles George Gordon. Very, very, he had a very, very high station among the British, as far as soldiers wise. But the Mahdi, which is interesting, people considered him in different Muslim sects, kind of like the first coming of Christ, as far as he wanted to unite the whole Islamic world. And in the Sudanese case, he did get a lot of momentum, and I would say the army was very, very formidable against the British colonization. And they were just not only fighting the British, they were fighting the Egyptians as well too. And that war is pretty much almost spread not only in just Sudan, but in Egypt along with Ethiopia as well. It was bloody. And go ahead, Queso.
Is somebody outside?
I'm just seeing crazy wave online.
Actually,
how are you going to explain this? Julius Malema is literally talking about Kenya right here. 1 second, let me play a little bit of it to be petty.
Before old, that's it. Because according to Kenyan law, it's been removed. That's why I don't. You guys are just behind.
What happened?
Well, we don't want to participate in the Commonwealth. Commonwealth is presided over by the colonizer, and to allow the colonizer to preside over the former colonies is actually to allow the perpetuation of colonialism, which comes in a different, sophisticated manner. So we're not going to allow that. We want ourselves, as former colonies, colonized nations, to be organized through our own determination, not through what Britain thinks should be the form of organization when it comes to their former colonies. So we reject that. We're no longer a colony of Britain. And the ANC is continued kneeling before the Queen and kneeling before Theresa May is actually perpetuating that colonialism of a special type. And that type of respect we give to the colonizer is the one that perpetuates white supremacy and white arrogance. And as long as they bow before the Queen, and the Queen goes there and gives them new names and give them short clothes to wear, and they allow that, it's wrong. I mean, we still have judges in Kenya, in Zimbabwe, wearing blonde wigs. What is that?
Yeah, can you stop it for a second?
What is that?
Let me, 1 second. Yeah, this is an old video.
They are wearing those things. They still wear those things and come
on, Dr. K. They wear it. Stop trying to prove what. I know you're trying to make Kenya look nice.
Yeah.
But
African Millennium, can you pause it for 1 second? This is not about Kenya. It's about facts. Disseminating the truth.
Doing away with apartheid colonial symbol.
Yes, check the back stream. I put the Kenya's constitution. It's there. Since 2011, the Supreme Chief Justice Willy Mutunga has said, as effective immediately, judges will no longer be called my lord or my lady, and the wigs will be discarded immediate effect. This is in 2010. Yep, what? It's not there. And I've been to the courts. I go there every 2 weeks. Zero. I've never seen it. So, and I have the proof. There's a Kenya's constitution I've sent in the back and some media presentation. So no, Kenya doesn't have this problem anymore.
Yeah, my uncle was a magistrate. They call him my lord.
Yeah, because they use English common law. That's what they use. They don't have their own laws, so they call them lords.
In Kenya, they're supposed to be called Mheshimiwa. So they've changed it to Swahili. They've removed the English nonsense. So Kenya's actually on top of you, colonized Africans. Say again?
Kenya has the closest link with the British colonies than most of African countries. What are you talking about?
We're talking about the wigs.
What took you guys so long to realize that?
No, I think they realized it. The issue is just changing things in constitution. Because in Kenya, if you really want change, you have to put it. It's like America. It's a constitutional-based country. It's
Right.
not like
what I'm saying is, I mean, you had traditional societies like Egypt and Sudan. They didn't adapt that British shit.
Yeah, no. Most of those Islam countries, they have they're more inclined to Islam and Muslim culture. So they have their own Muslim things going on.
Yeah, so the issue here is people just talking about, like, let's say that guy Malema involving Kenya there, but it's not part of the countries that wear these things. It's just people need to educate themselves first before talking about things.
Well, as a Muslim, I'll tell you this. There's a Chief Justice in Sierra Leone called Sadia Kutubu was a stout Muslim, but he wore his regalia. He was looking more on the educational part of it. He wasn't looking at the Muslim part because he got a PhD in law, and that's what he based it on, saying, well, it's because you educated in that system, so you're supposed to be represented like that. But he was a staunch Muslim. So
what did he do? What did he do?
He's the Chief Justice of Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
And his whole family were devout Muslims. And he did not, when they made him Chief Justice, he defended the regalia and the wigs and the gowns just based on an educational system. Because when you go through the educational system and you graduate from college and whatever, you represent that system, whatever it entails. So
yeah,
he looked at more based on education, on the educational system, rather than his faith as a Muslim. So that's just a scenario I just wanted to bring up.
So he did dress like that. He wore the weave and the gown.
He wore the wig. He wore the wig, but he got a PhD in law. So he was like more or less. He would go on Fridays. You see him at the mosque. He wouldn't wear that. He'll wear his full Muslim wear. But when he was in court or you see him anywhere else, he wears the full regalia, and then he defended it. Because people were saying, well, you're Muslim, and because in Nigeria, somebody had brought that up because the northern states were saying everything is done by the Christian calendar. So it's a law article that he made a contribution, and it says regardless of your faith, that this is a job. You went to school, you get trained in that, and you representing that. Your faith was supposed to be separate. You can't bring your faith into your job requirements. So I just wanted to bring that as somebody that's try to clarify the situation, because in northern states in Nigeria, they were complaining about everything being done by the Christian calendar, and that the laws were the same. But it was a West African magazine. West Africa magazine. I don't know if you guys are familiar with West Africa. It was a magazine back in the day that had articles out. You guys familiar with West Africa magazine?
Yeah. What was that?
Nope.
No.
Okay, it's a West Africa magazine that this guy's got a law section. If you look at those, I know that is my dad. My dad was a researcher, so he had all those magazines: West Africa, Africa Now, Newsweek, Time, all those magazines. And in West Africa magazine, it's a law section where people from West Africa give responses, to different articles. Because there was a Nigerian judge that says, why is everything done by the Christian calendar? Why do they have to go there? And he responded like that. He responded in that law section of West Africa magazine. So I just thought of that, and I just brought that as an example of how he differentiated his faith from his job. That's the difference.
Yeah, I think they see it as a status, to make them richer, to make them look. I think they think dressing like that makes them look important in the society, give them some kind of status. Yeah.
Yeah, they do have status. Most parents are proud of those guys when they come around. There's people you show up. I'm telling you, that's the pinnacle, particularly in Sierra Leone, where I come from, where they emphasize on education, when they want to show off their kids.
Do a search for Control F and then type in wigs. You'll see it.
Well, sometimes when we come on like YouTube, to learn, we should be real so that people can learn about things that are going on. If you come and you want to be biased, we're not going to learn anything. We're just going to think things are better. Because I'm watching at a Kenya court lawyer right now, 2022, and he's have a bloody wig on.
No, that's not the case. I don't know what you're looking at, but it's in the Constitution, and I live in Kenya. No one is wearing wigs. It's there in the Constitution.
This guy's that's the Constitution. That's something else. But maybe these people, they think wearing weave, it's cool.
It's illegal for them to wear.
No, it's a requirement. It's not cool. It's a requirement. Let's be realistic. Yes, it is a requirement.
It is. I know. Yeah. So that's what.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's just like
trying to say this is better. We don't learn. That's what I don't really like. Sometimes you come on YouTube. What it is what it is. Let's just say it and say that's wrong. So
no, it is wrong.
Most of the time,
but it's a requirement. Even like
share my screen. It's here.
Even like dress code to go to work. If they say you're supposed to wear a suit and tie, or dress professional, that's a requirement. It's a dress code. That's a dress. That's a requirement for the guys, even if they like it or not.
Yeah, here is. Hang on, Amara. Let me just read out this concerning Kenya. This is a Kenyan constitution. I'm going to go up just to prove it.
That's the constitution. African constitution are so nice and sweet.
Come on, I already told you. I go to Kenyan courts. I've not seen it. It's not constitution implementation.
That does not mean like.
Well, look, let me finish the point. Okay, let me finish and educate tribal like Africans. Let me educate people first. I don't know what you're arguing against, but
your biggest Pan-African is Patrice Lumumba.
Tribal African. You have to respect.
Okay? See, this is constitution. I understand what you're talking about. This is constitution. Right. Yeah, is it illegal for them to do it?
Let me read it. Constitution implementation in Kenya 2010 to 2015. Here it is. This is the implementation. I'm going to go Control F.
Oh, that's to go 2010 down to 2015.
That's when it was implemented. That's when it was removed.
Oh, that is a problem.
So I'm going to read this. So this is 7.23, Judiciary and Implementation of Challenges and Prospects. I'm going to skip all of that here. It's not relevant. In late 2011, the Chief Justice, that was Willis, through the circular number CJ90, communicated a change in judicial dress code. He did say you will no longer be able to wear it. I can put it up anyways. The alteration was the product of a consensus at a judge colloquium, also attended by the Judicial Service Commission, JSC. The following are among the changes that have been made. These are permanent changes and wigs were discarded with immediate effect. From 2011, immediate effect. Those who had them were instructed to either keep them as a souvenir or hand them over to the chief registrar. No headgear or any other type would be worn except the kadis, Basically, obviously, Muslim women are allowed to wear wherever they want. There will be two types of robe. Anyways, I'm not going to go in there. The next one also, all judges, magistrates, and kadis will be addressed as your honor, as in Mheshimiwa, instead of my lady or my lord, basically.
Wow.
So they removed any of that English traditional stuff. So don't go around arguing. I already earlier told you, you're arguing about wigs. I told you I go to court every 2 weeks. No one is seen wearing it. Now I've just proven to you it's on the Constitution as well. That's all.
That's good.
Wow. Because I know my uncle was a magistrate, and every time I go to court, they address him as my lord. And, it was a sign of respect. So I think it's a pressure group that's going to maintain that part wherever they can. I mean, kudos to Kenya. You see, East Africa, because of their uniformity with Swahili, they could do stuff like that. That's That's a separate case. It does not. The dynamics is not the same everywhere else in Africa. Why don't I have one single language like Swahili, you know, and they could make references from those to address themselves. It's not the same. So that's a separate case, and kudos to them that they took the initiative to do that.
Yeah, if they're doing it, they implement it. That's nice. That's what we want. You know.
But it's different in other parts of Africa, though. We don't have that uniformity like East Africa.
The thing is, what's happening? I don't know if they should not wear it in most African countries, because sometimes you go to what they call customary court, you don't even know who's a judge. Sometimes he's just a normal guy dressed like with normal suit. You know, you don't see that all the time. But in Cameroon, like when the judge is reading like the presidential election, you know, the judge of the Supreme Court. It's bloody. He's dressed in a bloody weave. You know, he's got this red robe. You know, the Supreme Court judge. You know, like the highest, and all his co-workers sitting up there reading the Constitution of the election. They're dressed in the bloody weave. You know, because to them that's some kind of authority. And the other lawyers, they have these your black robes like some secret society people. But those ones, those top guys, they have bloody weave. They stand with the president and have these selfies, you know. Yeah, it's like that most of the time. I don't know if that's changed, but yeah, if Kenya has gotten rid of the weave, that's good.
But Kenya is a special case, you know. Everything is African is a special case because I got a uniformity of that Swahili language. Everywhere else is different, really. So even Tanzania, I heard they changed their official language from English to Swahili, you know, and then dudes from Ethiopia just told me that they have all these changes in Kenya. So they are a special case, you know, they're different because they got the uniformity of the Swahili language, which is not common anywhere else in Africa, you know, so you got to look at it on a case-by-case basis. But on top of that, you know, these people really are custodians of the colonial past.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's not past. It's still present.
Look at and talking about justice system. Look at our traditional justice system, because their justice system it's not only them. It's also our kings got their own courts. They got their own court barret and all that too. But you see what I'm saying? As a parallel system, but it's only in the villages. All that's part of the justice system collectively in the constitution. That the kings will perform justice in the traditional way, whilst in the cities and big towns, the European system will prevail.
Yeah, we still got like customary courts in Cameroon. Okay?
Yeah, where you go in front of the king, right?
No, No. It just
we got that in Sierra Leone. The king got his own court.
No, it just depends. It depends what is what was the stake of the problem. You know, when it concerns like murder or some kind of high criminal activity, the king is not gonna be able to precise over that matter. But if it's some little tribe border like farmland issue, some simple stuff, yeah. But when it comes to when people's life is being threatened, you know, that's gonna go to the court.
So do you think that the kings are still necessary?
Well, there's the thing. They are not. Well,
we
are there. Okay, listen. Yeah, they are there. I don't know about your country. They are there, but in my country, the politicians have got power over the king.
Yes, but kings are part of the local government. What the king's jurisdiction is the village.
So
and the 500 people that stay over there.
What kind of cases do your king like?
Yeah, he doesn't, just like in Cameroon, he doesn't do murder cases, or rape and stuff like that. He doesn't, but he does like land issues, extradition, if they want to, you want to be ostracized from the community. Let's say the community says everybody should follow certain rules, and you don't follow, the king kicks you out of town. You're ostracized. The king can do that. Then the king, family disputes, husband and wife, they can dispute that. People fighting and stuff like that. Like big cases, like you're right, the same thing in Sierra Leone. Murders and big cases, more egregious cases, are going to the magistrates or to the judge.
Yeah, we've got what we call we've got a really small one. They call them quarter heads. It's like a little traditional council. Like maybe someone gets into your farm and steal a cob of corn or a bunch of plantains. Some small issues like that.
Yeah.
Maybe he trespass on your land. That traditional council, that's called the quarter head, he's going to try to bring peace, amicably between the two parties. But if it's something that people's life are threatened, they'll send them to the customary court. And if after the customary court you don't still accept, you can apply to go to the high court. The high court is like the bigger court in the province, district, and that's where you have the magistrate that you can, the village court cannot sentence you to prison. Maybe the customary court cannot sentence you. They don't sentence you. Like the customary court you can't go to jail. Maybe you get some fine. Or the village court, you can't sentence someone to jail. But to sentence someone to jail, you need to go to the high court. That's
in Sierra Leone,
power to sentence someone to the jail.
The king got the power for land disputes too. He's got the final say in the whole country for land dispute in his jurisdiction. Even the chief justice or the president does not have power over that. He supersedes them in his jurisdiction on land cases. He got a stamp of approval, his signature of approval. All that is the paramount authority as far as land goes. As far as family dispute, husband and wife or whatever, if you don't find the king rule in your favor, you can still go to the civil courts. In Sierra Leone, you can still go to civil courts and take care of that. But mostly it's those descendants that do that. The regular tribes do not do that. Whatever the king says is final. Then if somebody stole something from somebody's houses and whatever, the king can pass judgment.
It's different in Ghana. It depends on the region of the king. So the Asantes have their own thing. The Gas have their own thing. Like every region has their own king or their own chief.
Yeah, it
is in
seems
charge of land.
Yeah, it seems kings is really big in Ghana. In Cameroon, we have kings. Well, they're big, but to be honest, they're just politicians. Because they're just politicians. Because they start paying them. Now the government put chiefs on salary. It depends your level. We've got the paramount chiefs. They're mostly the chiefs of chiefs in the area. They don't really have that much power. They have they're big, they're influential, but we have what we call the governor of that state has got power more than him, because the governor of that state is like the presidential representative of the president in that province. But he is big, but sometimes they work hand in hand. Sometimes he asks him for advice, because what happens, the way Cameroon is being structured, the governor of a province does not come from that province. He comes from a different province, from a different area. So that's how the government is trying to bring the country together. So the governor is going to be from someone from some other side, and the guy that was from your town may be a governor to another side. That's how Cameroon is structured. And
that's smart.
Well, in Sierra Leone, land issues, natural resources, like wherever they got diamonds or gold or whatever, the king has the final power. In most cases, the president will come up with his plan and then talk to the king to give the approval. But actual approval of land with mineral resources is the king. The king is the one that got the final approval. You see what I'm saying? Because most of the families that own that land for generations and generations are leaning on the king for protection. So the king is the custodian of those families that own those lands for generations. Now, if the government want to bring in a foreign corporation or whatever, like the president will talk to the king, but the actual paperwork, because I've seen it where my uncle was the king. It was the one that gave the final approval. You know, if he doesn't give the final approval, no, all activity on that land is illegal. Like you said, we don't have regional governors, like you say, but we have ministers of provinces. So if you're ministers of regions, they are the government's representative that they sent over there. Like for everything else, yes, they are powerful, but when it comes to land, kings are number one. You know, that's why their power is based. Everything else, you know, they have regional courts, regional structures, and everything else. But that's it.
Yeah,
There
before
are some places over here, well, over in Ghana, that if you're building a house and the chief doesn't like you or they don't like your family, like they could actually kick you out. Like they have a lot to say.
well, like
who,
in Cameroon, no one owns land. The land belongs to the government. That's how it is. So, but you're a custodian of that land, you know. So if the government decides to take your land, you will need to come with an agreement with the government to settle you. You can't say no. So if something is going to happen there, you need to have an agreement with the government, you know. But sometimes it always goes good because there's nothing you can do, you know. So if you are a chief, you are a chief, but that minister or that governor on the province has got power over you. Before the independence, the chiefs, we had the House of Chiefs. It was really powerful. The chiefs were like the lawyers, you know. But after independence, it just became politics. Now chiefs are politicians, they're supporting the president. So because of that, they've lost their values. So when I say like Ghana, it seems like Ghana has got a really high chieftaincy kind of society. But in Cameroon, no. It's
in Sierra Leone,
politics.
we have the paramount chief too, which is more ceremonial because it's the kings of kings. But that's a ceremonial, that's for the whole kingdom. But the individual villages, their own chiefs come from bloodline. And that land over there, we have clans. You see, like in my village, I'm part of the Dumbuya clans, like the last presidential candidates that came from that same region. They're from the Kamara clan. They got their lands that have been there for generations. You see what I'm saying? So they say tomorrow, oil comes out on our land. The president has no power. He can come to us through the king and say, okay, we want to bring such and such people over here.
Can the king say no?
Can you help us out? But we are the original owners of the land.
Can the king say no to the government?
Yeah, the kings don't say no to the government. Yeah.
So what would the government do?
The government can't do anything because you know why?
That's not good. I don't accept
no,
that.
but that's how families like where the diamonds at. The whole tribe, the colonial tribe, owns all those lands. All those individual family members are the ones that give out leases to the king. The king signs all the people you see over there, foreign corporations, individuals, they sign up a lease that they pay a fee to the king, and the rest go to the family members.
Yeah,
the family.
They do that, but the king should not have the right over a country's natural resources.
It's not the king having. No, you don't understand. It's tribes.
I mean the tribe, but when I say the king is the head of the tribe. That's what I mean.
Yeah, because in Sierra Leone, everything is tribal based. You see what I'm saying? Wherever you are, whatever has been going on there for centuries before the British came, It's your own personal property. It's been passing on from generation to generation to generation.
No, that does not make sense.
It
Cameroon,
makes sense. It makes sense.
Cameroon,
Because
the government will put the chief in jail and there's
no,
nothing
not in Sierra Leone. You know what? You know what that brings in? Tribal war. Every man, woman of that tribe will take up arms.
To fight who?
Who fight the government?
No, you can't, man. How you fight the
What
government?
are you
military?
talking about? What are you talking about? I'm in. Let me tell you something. I'm taught in line in my family, in my clan. I know all the bylaws and all the rules. My dad died recently, and he gave me all the bylaws. The families that have been there for generations. This government thing is 60 years old. You know how long our families have been owning land? For centuries.
Yeah.
Centuries.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Now that's what I'm saying. So there's a custodian. The king is a custodian to make sure that
I understand what you mean, but this is my point. You can't sit on a piece of land that has got riches and the country is dying of poverty.
No. That's not what it's saying. Like in the colonial tribe, why they got the diamonds, right? This is what it is. A friend of mine, two friends of mine, matter of fact, their daddies died and their daddies were kings. And they showed me some of the agreement. They're in London right now, where they talked to some guys to lease on their land. They signed leases. You are allowed to lease the land to everybody else. When the resources they get from the land, they can sell it. The government gets a percentage, which the government can use as its revenues to do whatever it wants to do. But actual ownership of the land is in the hands of the families. Now they lease it, and foreign investors come in and with their expensive equipment and extract the resources, and the government tax them and give a percentage to them. But the ownership, actual ownership of the land, is in the hands of the families. Yeah, that's all. I hope tomorrow. I'm just saying that's one of my fantasies. I say I hope oil comes out of our land, or some African millennial, some natural resource.
There's a question for you.
I'm gonna be in the forefront. You know, right? They sign leases.
African millennial saying something, Amara. I think she's saying something.
Yeah, I was asking you. There's a question for you. How many tribes in Sierra Leone?
17.
That's
small. Huh?
Only 17 tribes?
Only 17 tribes.
Ah, lucky.
Yep. So, in fact, I'm thinking the two kingdoms from us, they got one of the world's largest deposit of iron ore. I'm thinking I go to those guys every day. I say, you guys gotta give me the geologists that came over here, because we're just two kingdoms away, man. If you guys got it, we're supposed to have it. It's just a joke, but I'm just saying, we got farmland. We planting rice. We planting maize, cassava, which we bring to the cities, But the colonials, I'm telling you, two of my friends, they're lawyers in England. But them boys, they live good in England. Those colonial boys, man, they lease their land. People give them pound sterling, dollars, just like that. They're really spoiled. That whole tribe right there. They're sitting on diamonds, lots of diamonds, thousands of pieces of diamonds.
Yeah, I think those are the kind of mindset.
I keep forgetting that.
No, but the government taxes them.
Yeah,
the government tax 50% of your revenues, 50% of the sale is government tax.
For me, if I become a president of any country, no chief, no whatsoever, it is nobody is greater than the state. You're on that land. Listen, let me finish. You're on the land.
What guaranteed tribal war, boss man?
With who? With the government. With the government. I genocide all of the tribe.
What is genocide?
Listen. I will do that. Listen, that's what I think. You will not
Let me ask you
be
a
on
question.
because that's gonna make the country not develop. It's gonna
Let me ask you a
it's
question.
gonna create some
You say you
little
genocide the whole tribe. Let me
yes.
ask you a question. Who the members of the army? What tribes do they come from?
From every tribe.
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
country.
You think
Yes.
the people are going to sit back? And when
Look,
we had
see,
a rebel war,
look, the army,
people from each tribe, I'm telling you,
the
they
army
came to our
is
kingdom.
see, listen, the army is loyal to the state and not
Bro,
loyal to a tribe.
I'm giving you a classic example of the rebel war in Sierra Leone.
If you're an army and you want to be loyal to your tribe, then you don't need to be an army. The army is supposed to be
I'm
loyal to the
telling
country.
you, I'm giving you a typical example of what happened in Sierra Leone. During the rebel war, rebels came into our kingdom. I got some of my uncles and whatever they were, generals and colonels. They dispatched people over there to kick people out. Army to the side. You're not going on our land.
I think that's the reason that you think Sierra Leone. If people still think like that, then you're gonna like struggle to build a country. If you're still thinking you're my land, that's my land, this is my land, this is my thing.
I mean,
it's gonna struggle to build.
Listen, if you're a general, you have a whole regiment under you, and you had your family members are being killed. They send you a message, but they deploy some of your members over there. What would you do personally?
This I said before.
That's what I'm saying. I'm asking a question. You're killing your family members because they were going to kill. They were going to raise a whole village down.
To become a general, you must be loyal to your country and not a tribe. If you're a member and you're loyal to a tribe, then you're not fit to be a general in that country. That's my point.
Listen, they deploy.
I want to give you an example now. What is happening in Cameroon? Okay, we've got these people. They call themselves Ambazonia. You know, they're a group of. They say they want to secede from the English region. Okay, but we've got 4 generals, 4 of them that are from the English region. There's one closer to the Nigeria border, you know, the side of Cameroon that's close to the Nigeria. They call them the Banyangi. He has deployed more than like the required amount of military, and all those people, those are his village people. He's messing them up big time. You understand? Because he says, I'm loyal to my country and not some gangsters that want to separate this country. And that is a good general. And because they went, they burned his house, they say, oh, you are for my people, you are killing our people, you're doing nothing. He is deployed military over there just to keep the country, just to keep that area. That is his own village. And if you're against the law, they will wipe you out. I think that's what a general should do. Not my tribe, your tribe, your tribe. We should get out of this tribal bullshit.
You come from your village, you hear your village is being attacked. You got troops, deploy them over there. I'm not saying you still do your job, but you still, when a situation like that comes up, you still deploy people over there to your village. That does not stop you from doing your job.
Yeah, and they're killing people. Those people in his village are the ones who secede. They're killing them, and they're part of his. They're part of.
No, I'm talking about my example. Our rebel war.
So that's
when the people went to our village, they were trying to kill us. I'm telling you, they had a list. They had a list. My RIP to my dad. He died this way, but God forbid nothing ever happened. They had a list of people they were going after. You hear something like that? Yeah, you hear your brothers and sisters, cousins, and whatever over there. They about to wipe out the whole village, and you within what, like 100 and something whatever miles away, you will send people to divert some troops over there. That does not stop you from doing your job.
You know, I think to me, we need to force Africans to live together. You know, whatever it may cause. That's what I believe. You know, all this tribal distinction is causing a lot of issues in this continent. So when people trying to be so tribal, I have a personal issue with that. You know, I'm in no way a fan of that tribal identity. You know, and we should stop it as much as we can.
You know what you're
If we
talking
keep,
about? You know what you're talking about? When you talk about tribal thing, there are I give you two scenarios. By just the way you're talking, I can judge that you're from the city. Right or wrong?
what do you mean by even from the city? The people
No,
from the
no,
city
no.
come.
Wait a minute. What I mean, because African cities are melting pots.
No, but people in
Okay?
the city have their tribes. It does
No,
not
no,
mean.
yeah. Everybody from the city has their tribe, but
Yeah.
it's more a melting pot. All tribes are there, so they come to they're unified. You see what I'm saying? In most big major African cities, that's not the same dynamics in the towns. That's not the same dynamics in the village. You got to do everything on a case-by-case basis. Oftentimes, most people take the fact that we're from the city, or we're all united, we're all one, we're all whatever, as that's how everybody else thinks. No. That's not the way people think in the village. That's not the way people think in the small towns.
The people in the village
Each area have that problem has come up plenty times. Most people in big major African cities, because it's all the tribes are there, we're non-tribalistic and whatever. When you set foot outside of those big major cities and go to the small towns where they're controlled by one tribe or two tribes and see what the dynamics are. Each town or city has different dynamics. That's the same problem we have in Sierra Leone, the big major cities. They're melting pots. Everybody thinks.
I understand what you mean.
Oh, no, it's tribalism.
I understand the mindset, but I understand what you're talking. Like, but to me, as a Sierra Leonean, every Sierra Leonean should be free to live anywhere they want to live.
Oh, that's a problem.
I know. Listen. That is a problem, but that's how it's supposed to be. And the law should be there to protect them to live anywhere they want to live.
I'm saying, give you a typical example.
Before, I want to give you an example, okay? Maybe like 10 years ago, in my town, you couldn't hear people speaking in French, okay? And the government say, well, this country is so divided between French and English. And what they start doing, they start switching universities. Like the university that was on the English side, they create like a section of that university in the French side, and the ones that were on the French side, they're mixing, and it's working perfectly. You know, you go to this other side, people are speaking both French and English. I think sometimes we, like in Cameroon, we say, oh, this old man has been for so many years, but he is doing his best to reunite this country, and it is working. The younger Cameroonians now, they feel the more Cameroonian. You know, this tribal thing is wiping out from people's mind gradually, and I think that is the best. That's the best thing. Now, people are saying there, and the people start looking themselves as Cameroonians. They're not looking themselves as tribal thing. You know
where that works? That works in Sierra Leone too, in government offices. Government offices, you go there, you see all types of tribes. Okay, now the government will do that. But I'm telling you, it's so much infighting. I'll give you a typical example. This is how bad it is. Okay, from my dad, I get so many examples. My dad, okay, at the University of Sierra Leone, right? Okay, he ran the departments of sociology and social sciences. Okay, his deputy is from another tribe. What these guys do with these government jobs, they attach people from different tribes to make it look everybody from different tribes. Then they try to fight you. It's a lot of infighting going on. But the thing with my dad is stand his ground. He was in there for 30 years with a good reputation, and government after government can't do nothing to him. I'll give you another typical example. My sister-in-law was a nutritionist. She got 2 degrees as a nutritionist. They wanted to promote her. They moved her to another town where these people think they're the only ones that's supposed to have a promotion. They attacked her spiritually, but we fought it off.
What do you mean by spiritually?
Spiritually, come on, African juju.
That shit does not work, bro.
What you talking about? What you talking about?
That shit does not work.
What are you trying? You see, African millennium. Remember when I asked the question about where is he from? He's from a city.
No, I'm not.
What's Africans that come from a city? Always act like that.
America. I need to come to Sierra Leone and you show me the strongest juju man. I come with my AK-47. We're gonna see with lot more power.
Yeah, we will see that. He got a bulletproof vest and it's not going down.
That's BS. That does not work.
That's BS. There was in the war. BS. You know how many people got the white man bulletproof, and the people that wore the white man bulletproof was dying. The ones that wore the African bulletproof was not dying. I know a lot of them. I got my own African bulletproof. No, you can shoot me. You can shoot me. I got my own African bulletproof.
The bullet did not touch them. Come on.
Bro, I got my own bulletproof. You can take it out on me. Let's start there. Let's start there.
I don't. That's a lie.
Well, coming back to the point is people in certain regions feel like because they're nutritionists and because they are the only ones that get supposed to get promotion in certain areas. When the government is going around with different regions, bringing different people from different tribes. Okay, now she got the job, but she got that problem with her foot. Now it's taken care of. But they gave her a hard time. All the people that are subordinates, they want to listen to her because she came from my tribe. All the other people want to take. They take a parallel because she got a position was like the chief nutritionist for this hospital. But in this hospital, they have 2 units, so they'll go to the other member of their tribe and ask questions when she's in charge of her own department. That's how they do it. They'll fight you until they get you out of the situation. I'm telling you, there is so much tribalism when it comes to government, particularly governments. I got a lot of family members that are in government. So much fighting.
So what is Sierra Leone doing to fight it?
So much fighting. Each tribe promotes, like this president that's there now. When he does, he promotes all his tribal members into big positions.
Well, I think if people from Sierra Leone have your same mindset, then you're gonna struggle to build a country.
Yeah, but it's not struggling to build a country. That's struggling to build a country. That's a city mindset. We all in this city. We all members of the same tribe. You can't take that dynamics to a small town. You can't take that dynamics to a village. Those people think different. They got a clear-cut reason why they only support their own tribe members.
Most villages don't contribute anything in.
Listen, when I say but small towns.
I don't know why they're important anyway.
Yeah, they are important because they got natural resources. They got small towns too that contribute. That could be bigger, but most of those small towns, those people stay there and they look for government benefit when their president is in power or somebody important from their village is in power. They bring them opportunities for them to get ahead because it's a competition for opportunities, competition for resources. When the governments prioritize certain cities and towns, they prioritize them at the expense of others. It's a winner-loser game. So people are playing tribalism to get access to resources so they could improve their area. It's a competition of the budget. When they come out with a budget, they distribute income or projects all over to improve the different areas. But it goes by the politician in power. If it's leaning like in Sierra Leone right now, we have the president comes from the south. So the south and the east get most of the projects. We in the north and the west, we're second. We play second place. You see what I'm saying? Because most of those people, they through political means, they say, "Well, we put you in power, so you got to show tangibility, tangible." You got to provide tangible assets, what we can point to and say, "Oh, this man, we put him in power, and he did such and such for us. We voted for him, and we did such and such for us." You see what I'm trying to say? So everything is tribalized.
That's a bad energy, really bad. So I know there's tribalism in Africa, I understand, but we should not make it we should not try to support it. You know, we should not give it any form of we should not give it any form of accreditation. We should always try to say this is wrong. But you're
That's
saying
because
you're trying to
it's a city
justify.
mindset.
You're just trying to justify why.
It's a city mindset. Most major African cities, it's a melting pot of all tribes.
Look, I know.
And that mindset is what people think. For example, like Yaoundé or Douala, people think that's all Cameroon.
No.
When other people have their own state.
You don't understand. I don't live. I'm not from the village, of course. Okay, I was not born and raised in the village, but the district officer for my village, in my village area, is not from my village. He's a government administrator, and he's got power over the chief. If the chief messes up, wants to be against the state law, he's going to send the military, and they will probably arrest him. And some people may say that is wrong, but to me that's correct. We need some kind of order. We can't live in a country that some people have power more than the state. That does not make sense. You know,
well, it's not power over the states. No, you're misinterpreting it. The state has ultimate power in most African countries. The state has ultimate power. It's just in certain instances where traditional kings have power over certain items like land, you know, local disputes within their jurisdiction. Those
you can have dispute over land, but not dispute with the government. Do you know what I mean?
No, but the government of the own land. You don't understand this thing. You got for example, even in the cities. Let me take a typical example. Even in any city in Sierra Leone, okay, there are original families that own those lands. Even if governments wants to build a road and extend a road, they can't just come in and give you any kind of compensation. That's why you have those local kings to protect people on their behalf. You can't just come in because you're a government and give them pittance, give them peanuts just to make a road, or even though it's helping
in that village. Is there
I'm talking about the city. I'm talking about the city. You want to
no. I'm talking about in the villages. Is there no government representative in those villages? Don't you?
The government representative is the king. The king is part of the government.
So the king is part of the government in Sierra Leone.
Yeah, but when it comes to certain,
are they being paid? Do they have a salary?
Yes, they have a salary. They're being paid.
So they work with the government.
No, but they're part of the government. That's a local government. Then the government in the cities are the like the federal authority or something like that. But what I'm saying is they are part of the local government. The local government different stages. But when it comes to certain jurisdictions, they have more power over any other parts of the government. You see what I'm saying? Like the president might have his own powers because he's a member of the executive branch. Then you have the judiciary. Then you have the legislature. Then you have the regional authorities when they have their own power. Everything's spelled out. Then the kings have their own powers too. Everything's spelled out in the constitution. Everything is spelled out. So it's not nobody's overlapping anybody on certain issues. Certain issues, some people have ultimate authorities. Certain issues, some other people have ultimate authority. That's all it is. But I'm telling you, because of the land, even in the cities, when they want to expand roads, or you can't just come in and start bringing a bulldozer and break it. No, you have to talk to the local chief, which consults with the local families.
When you say you can't just come in, who are you referring to?
I'm talking about the national government, because most times the national government do all the big projects.
Yeah,
I
don't think that's a good form of government, bro.
No, but the national government has big major projects like road projects and highways. A lot of expand the road network in the country, bring trains or whatever they're trying to do with land, or big agriculture projects, or big whatever. They're bringing in a bunch of foreign investors. If they target your area as an expansion, they want to expand in that area, they still got to talk to the king. The king has to talk to the families. Their families got to agree on a compensation that they like. The government can't just come in and give you peanuts and then bring in the bulldozers and break all the houses and expand and bring some Chinese guys or whatever to expand the. No, that's what I'm saying. Is checks and balances and division of power. Is there clearly in the Constitution? That's what we're trying to say. So most people, coming back to that city example, most people in African big major cities thinking it's kumbaya, all the tribes are, we all one or whatever. When you go to the small towns and the villages, well, it's a total different dynamics. Totally different dynamic. All those people are competing for natural when they're distributing the budget. There are projects that are earmarked for them. They campaign based on their village.
If you ask me, I don't even know why people live in the villages in Africa, young people. To me, villages should be for old people. When like sometimes listen,
No, sir.
I went to the village sometime. I went to my village, and I saw young men who could be doing better, working like better for themselves. They're just in the village drinking palm wine and just living some kind of primitive life.
Okay, let me
I
ask
don't
you a
know.
question.
Listen, there was no reason for me. If you ask me, why were they there?
Let me ask you a question.
What were they doing in the village?
Let me ask you a question.
Wasting resources.
Let me ask you a question. What resources are they wasting? If they make it to the city, can you give them a job? No.
People, they can get a job.
African cities are full of unemployment youth. You want the man to leave his village where he farms to feed his family. Wait a minute. Make his clay pots, farm, continue African tradition.
Come on, bro.
So come in and be a useless guy.
This is
no, but when it comes to the city, listen, when it comes to the city, they don't find a job. They don't find nowhere to stay. What are they going to be? Armed robbers?
No.
That's what they do. Stealing people, breaking into people's houses.
I don't know about Sierra Leone, but in Cameroon, there are 3 jobs that if you get there, you get paid all the time. 1 is the military, 2 is the police, and 3 is teaching, primary school
teachers. They can't hire all the people, all the youth that come from the village. That's not true. They can't hire all the youth that come from the village.
We have a shortage. They're begging people to join the military. If I was the government, I would just go in those villages, all those people doing nothing, drinking palm wine and doing nothing.
What do you mean drinking palm wine or doing nothing? They're feeding their family. They continue in African tradition.
What African tradition? Come on, man. African tradition.
Oh, you're a white man, right? You see this?
Listen.
African millennium.
It's not about.
This is Kelly Kefri 2.0.
See, listen. It's not about one man. It's about development. It's about
you know what the French used to call? You know what the French used to call? Hefreboini, black Frenchmen. That's exactly what you are. You need a seat in the Champs-Élysées.
No, look, see.
Champs-Élysées. That's what you need. Because that's what it is.
See. We need to abandon all this ancient African tradition. We
for
keep
what?
them in
for
the museum. Listen. No.
Tradition?
I didn't say that. We need to keep those things in the museum, and we go look at them. We say, okay, this is how these people need to live. But we need to embrace modernity.
Well, you can embrace modernity.
There's no listen. There's
who
no
you trying
fun.
to copy?
Listen, Namara. There's no fun to go to the village. You see an old woman grinding some spices on a stone where she can use a blender.
But hey, boss man, let me give you a typical example. Okay. Now, you say you're looking up to Europeans as the people who have modernity. Do you realize the Europeans are one of the biggest preservers of their history? You see all those museums? Wait a minute. You see all those museums in Europe? Do you see all the kings and queens that they still maintain?
Yeah.
Do you see all the tradition that they maintain? So if you're going to copy from them, maintain your African culture.
But
because
I told you exactly. Let's keep it in the museum. Let's preserve them there.
No, but who are you impressed with? You're impressed with the Europeans, the Europeans have their kings alive. Queen Elizabeth is still alive. She still has our own power. She's head of state. You know,
you're just
and
talking
then,
about
when it comes to us, we're gonna cut off the African tradition.
You're
For
talking
what?
about one active monarchy in the whole of
Man,
Europe. That's the active.
No. Norway has an active monarchy. Sweden has an active monarchy. Austria has an active monarchy.
Who's in charge of the
all the Scandinavian guys have an active monarchy. What are you talking about? The people you impress with preserve their own history. When you take it up, you want to kill your own history.
By European.
Come on, man.
We need
this is Africa.
We need to embrace.
Man.
We need to embrace modernity and develop Africa.
You can still just follow the Europeans.
No. We don't need to.
No.
Listen.
Did the Europeans not adapt modernity and preserve their cultural history? Did they not do that?
When you say preserve, what do you do? The preserve. See, but they change their way of life because listen. They know exactly what they were doing.
They were nobles. They are nobles. They are nobles and royals, right?
They are no more
living. And then they're common people.
Listen. They're no more living in caves. They're no more using hoods to warm themselves. You know, they're not doing all those ancient things. They've modernized, but they still remain who they are.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Are you ashamed? Are you ashamed of African huts? Are you ashamed of those people in the village? Are you ashamed of them?
They don't need to live like that.
Are you ashamed of them or not? I just asked a simple question.
No, I don't understand your question. When you say
okay, if a white man comes along, I say, why are you African people? If those people are around, are you ashamed to point to the white man that those people are my people? Are you ashamed of that?
They should be ashamed, not me. I'm not ashamed. They should be ashamed.
You are ashamed of your culture.
No.
You are ashamed of your culture.
Listen. If someone, I don't even care. If someone, I don't want to say the white man. If someone from Sierra Leone comes to my country and I can take him to my village and see how these people live. They can still have modern facilities, but
you can take me to your country. Is basically the same thing. African villages are the same.
Yeah, so I can show you. So these are my
by and large, African villages are the same.
I can show you this are my king, but
you see what I'm saying?
They should have why should my village don't have full electricity, good
roads?
Okay,
let me ask you a question.
Amara, let me ask you, why should my village don't have electricity, clean road, cars moving in my village? Okay. Why should my village be people living in mud, don't have fire, things like that?
Okay, let me answer the question. Let me answer the question, right? Did they stop anybody from leaving the village to go to the city where they have electricity and roads and all that stuff? Did they stop anybody from going?
They didn't stop nobody from going to the city, right? Persuade them to leave.
No. That's their choice. See, they want to preserve African history. But listen, like in my village, their kids, people that come up with their kids, they go to school. Okay, they got the basic school. And then they have a choice to either keep the kids in the village or send them to these small towns or the cities. Some people do it, some people don't do it. I'll give you a typical example like my uncle. My dad has a PhD. My uncle had 5 wives. He's the chief of our village. He doesn't want nothing the white man has. When everybody was leaving the village, he stayed behind. He said, this is his life. You see what I'm saying? He doesn't look at himself backward. He doesn't look at himself because his brother, my dad, went to the city.
Amara, I will bet you that the uncle that is claiming he doesn't want what the white man, he's probably got a cell phone. He's probably got.
He doesn't have no cell phone. Nothing.
Have a steel
nothing. He doesn't want none of that.
He's got modern facilities in his. He's got modern facilities in his house. He needs a car to live from one place to another.
He doesn't want none of that. None of that.
Yeah, come on.
He preserved the people. He told the people in the village who wants to move to the city, move to the city. The ones that want to stay over here and let's preserve our culture, stay with me. That's the thing right here. We're not proud because we've been infused with this white man's Western mentality.
It's not about pride.
We're ashamed.
It's not about pride. It's about modernity. Modernity is going to wipe you out. it does not ask you to like it or
No,
not.
they're not saying the cities are modern. Listen.
Come on.
The cities are modern, right? The cities are modern. The village preserves history. You see what I'm saying?
Why
So
can the
people
city
that
not
wanna
preserve
the
history? The city can preserve history. Why not? You've got museum.
The city is going the white man's way. The European way.
No.
Yeah, they are. Most African cities were built by what? Europeans.
Look.
And most people go to school.
I don't like when you use the word "the white man's way." It sounds funny. I'm talking about modernity. You know, modernity is for everyone. It's not just for the white man. Use the word modernity. Don't say the white man's way.
Okay, in most African countries, who was the colonial master?
Most Europeans, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so whatever they introduced is what is considered as modern. And they're going to still continue to go that way. But these people that stay in the village,
the waste of time, waste of resources.
Preserve their African ideal. If you're ashamed of them, I'm not ashamed of them.
I'm not.
I'm telling you.
I'm not ashamed of them. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Look, African millennials, these are the kind of guys that
you don't understand. Amara, I'm not ashamed of them. They should be ashamed of themselves.
You're ashamed of them.
No. I will take you and look at this. Look at these people living like savages. I will show you. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should see something.
Why should they be ashamed of themselves?
Yes, because they're just waste
Why?
of
Because they didn't follow the white man? Because they didn't follow the white man?
No.
Look, see,
Amara, even the white man, you think they don't like him. If that white man goes to the village, they're gonna give him everything. They're gonna see him as God. Believe me.
Listen, it's African tradition to respect strangers.
Now
it's African tradition to open up to strangers. Okay. Strangers coming is our tradition.
Yeah,
it's our tradition.
You're trying to justify. He's gonna give them tools.
I am justifying it. It's our tradition to be open.
He's gonna give them tools that are gonna throw away their ancient tools and use his tools to do their job. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll give you a typical example. One of my cousins is the elder. Everything, when it comes to the city, everything he sees around, he has complete disdain for it. Disdain. And me and him are the same age, and he's the elder in the village. The moment he comes to the city, he can't wait to go back to the village. Because he looks but listen, he's looking at me. Me and him are cousins. And he won't say, he look at me and look at the life I'm living, and won't say, oh, you live in a Western lifestyle. And I'm living an African lifestyle, but I like the African lifestyle. No, there are people that think like that move to the city. Then you have people who preserve. They don't care about modern modernity. They don't care about modern items. They want to preserve what's been there.
Amara, I think you're using the word preserve as if they are aware of what they're doing. They're not. They're just living a remote life that they don't because they don't have an option. They're not
aware. So Africans are dancers, right?
Listen, see.
The people in the village
I want that we should agree on something. Those people, they don't have the opportunity. If you go to those villages,
what you mean opportunity?
Listen,
how do you need to go to town?
Listen.
You can go to town. You got your family members over there.
Amara, if you go to those villages, all those people living in herd, you build them a nice duplex and put out your head beside them and tell them, where do you want to live? They're going to bloody live that.
That's not true. They have a chance. They have a chance to leave for the city.
Right. They don't have the
members that are in the city. They come to the city and see how their family members live. And if they like that lifestyle, they'll stay in the city. But they left and went back to the village. They only come for like funeral. Like my daddy died recently. They came for the funeral. Boom, they're gone back.
Well,
they don't like it in the city.
That's your point of view. That's I said this. I don't
like it in the city. They like to keep it the way it is. They farm their land. They fish in their rivers. They do what they got to do.
For me, that's fine. That's right. For me, the village should be for like old and retired people. Want a simple life away from the city that have made their life. Not young people that have got.
This is a typical example of the black Frenchman. Yeah, typical example of the Frenchman. I'm telling you are Felix Houphouët-Boigny 2.0. You should be in the Champs-Élysées.
Wait,
A
Amara,
black Frenchman. That's
wait,
what it feels.
Amara, are you saying that everything that is from the outside is evil or bad? Or is
I'm
that
not saying everything that's from the outside is evil or bad. What I'm saying is people have a choice. There's nobody stopping them to live in the city or live in the village. Nobody stops nobody. Because like kids, like one of the kids that's in our house right now, one of my cousins said she's smart. She said she wants to excel. Because in the village, they only teach you one, you go to the primary school and that's it. We stopped it right there. So anybody else that want to go further than that has to go to the city. So people that stop at primary school stage, if you feel you want to do bigger, she's in my house right now. We're paying school fees for her. God willing, she'll go to college. But people differentiate. The other kids say no, they're staying in the village. This one says she wants to educate herself to get a degree later on in life. She move on to the city. People got choices.
Okay.
So don't think nobody's better than anybody or whatever. No, some people just don't want to live in the city. You got people come over for funeral rites or they come to wedding ceremony or whatever. They see the city. And the ones that want to stay. The ones that want to go back, go back.
Okay.
So don't be ashamed of your culture.
That concludes the end of the stream. We can do the closing statements. Amara, did you have a final thought for the panel?
Yeah, I mean, these people that wear wigs are doing it because of the tradition and the job requirement, and they look to signs of authority because they work their whole life for it. So they're doing it because it's there, and everybody's there. Like one of my cousins that I told you came from the village. He want to pursue all the way. He's a lawyer. I mean, when he came first to the city, his English was not even cleaned up, but he cleaned up his English, and he pursued it all the way. But that's his choice, and most of those people, they see that from a childhood age, and they want that, and they're gonna do whatever they need to do to preserve, it. So I don't see those people as relinquishing all those regalias and wigs and whatever, just because they think it's that important. Secondly, on the culture thing, Africans, we should not be black Frenchmen. Don't be Felix Houphouët-Boigny. A black Frenchman, because that's what the French did in Africa. They assimilated, while the English had indirect rule. The British had indirect rule, like in Nigeria, they had Lord Lugard that came up with Northern Nigeria, had their own caliphates that rule themselves. They just had the British governor over there. It's the same thing in Sierra Leone. I'll give another example because that was my favorite subject in school. In Sierra Leone, Northern Sierra Leone, is the same situation with our tribe, Muslim-based, and they let most of our kings rule, and the governor was in Freetown. So when these French-speaking Africans talk sometimes, because they are so assimilated, they want to be black Frenchmen, and they despise Jean-Baptiste Buganda. It's a typical example. Central African Republic. The guy despised everything African. He made himself the emperor. That's a typical example of people that despise who they are and not proud of what they are. I'm proud of being an African. I'm proud of being in a clan for leadership, to be the king. I'm also proud of my African traditions. And our African traditions go way back to 1000 AD. If we put Einstein to shame, tried and tested over thousands and thousands of years. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you. And Travel African, did you have a final thought?
Well, I'm just gonna talk about the wave thing. I think it's still part of inferiority complex. Because most African government or people still think mimicking the West or trying to be like the Western world, it means you have more status and you have more authority. I think people should really try to question those kind of authorities, those traditions. Why do you have that? And people should take pride in themselves and stop trying to mimic things that we don't even understand why they did it in the first place. Just because these people dressed like that in the 18th century, maybe because it was cold, they couldn't hit your parliament. The one inside there was cold and things like that. We just imitate. We have no history of why they did that. So before we imitate something, we should get into the history of why they dress like that. And I don't see why they should do it because it really makes us look like stupid and like we lack pride and we lack pride in ourselves as African. And if things like this is coming from this kind of authority, like the judges, the court, or the judiciary of a country mimicking the West, gives us a really bad look from outsiders. Yeah, about this village thing, let's drop that village bullshit crap out of the way and embrace modernity because it's not helping us. And it doesn't mean that we should forget the tradition. You can still keep your tradition and be modern. Chinese people, they have your tradition, they've modernized your tradition. They still dress the way they dress. They still eat your traditional foods, but they're not like poor living in villages. They still have cars and yeah, but they're modern, but they're still traditional. Keeping tradition does not mean you look wretched and live in a village in a hut. No, you can still have a hut and keep it as a souvenir, but you embrace modernity. That's just what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, there you have it. Thanks for being here. Next stream topic will be on Gaddafi. How do you guys feel about Gaddafi? Was he a good leader or not? I'm really really tired. I'm not sure why, but I definitely need to go to sleep. But yeah, thanks everybody for being here. I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys. Bye, Mike. Bye, Lozy. Bye, T Shields. Bye, Kim. Who else is here? Bye, Shea Buttonelli. Bye, Osario. Oh, and who did you guys agree with? I know that there was a bit of a back and forth between Amara and Tribal African at the end of the stream, but what do you guys feel about that? Some of you guys already mentioned that in the chat section, but you know, I'd like to know your guys' opinions on that. And what are your guys' opinions on the whole topic? What are your guys' opinions on the whole stream? If you missed it, please watch the beginning because that was basically what the topic was mostly about. And I think in the end, we were talking about modernity. Like, how do you bring modernity, I guess, without changing your culture? Or I guess the other question is, how important is a culture? Um, is it possible that cultures can evolve and adapt other things? Because I've noticed with certain African countries, the reluctancy to change your culture is because they say that they don't want to lose themselves. They say that they don't want to become someone else, so they'd rather keep the same culture that, their ancestors had for hundreds of years than trying something new. That's the justification behind that. But what do you guys think about that? Um, yeah, it was really great topic. Does anyone have? Oh, hi Daniel, how you doing? Does anyone have hi DI, or I should say goodbye since I'm saying goodbye to you guys? Does anyone have a song suggestion as the closeout? Because I would like to close out with a song. Crenshaw Guider, good night or good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Bye, Black Man. Bye, Sioux. Bye, Juju. Bye, George. Oh, you're Nigerian? That doesn't look like a Nigerian last name to me, but interesting. That's interesting. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I'm tired, guys. Why aren't you talking about the rapes and killings of blacks in Libya? Hmm. That's a good point. Okay, all right. Let me quickly talk about that very quick, right? I feel bad about the rapes and killings that are going on blacks in Libya, but this is the big but. This has been happening ever since, at least from what I noticed, this has been happening ever since 2011. And people are still going to Libya. People know that Libya is lawless. People know that Libya is dangerous ever since, that leader passed away, that country is an anarchy. Not the whole country, but basically Libya is not, it's a police state. Yeah, it's not a safe place to be, but people are still taking the chances and going to Libya because they want to go to Italy, they want to go to wherever. So they're still going there. So I feel bad, but at the same time, the question is, I know that Libya is not good, that Libya is not safe, that you literally have to leave the Sahara Desert to even get to Libya. There's actually a lot of people who even die just trying to get to Libya because they're stuck in the desert, right? But they're still going. I don't even know, but that's a good point. I'll do more. I guess I'll do an update on that because last that I heard, people are still going there. So we'll see about that. We'll see about that. But anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks for being here. I'll see you guys. Oh yeah, the migrants. Yeah, it's crazy. They really need to stop going there. But anyways, guys, thanks guys for being here. I'll see you guys next time. I'm getting so tired. So yeah, I'll see you on Sunday and we'll be talking about the Gaddafi thing.